depends how long it takes us to get through them.
Okay.
Maybe like 2 or 3.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe like half of
Or
them.
short too.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. I can start with I'll try and send you the game, but I don't really know if that's how we did it last time.
Um, if you just have like the PGN or I don't know.
I sent it on Discord.
Uh, okay. So I see round 4, round 2.
Yeah,
You
okay,
played a
I
couple
know, I know.
dudes.
I did. I did. I didn't organize the names because I don't want to write the names of my opponents.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't know what else to write.
That's okay. Um, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. I just don't know the order, I guess, but
We don't have to do it in order. I
I
feel
think
like
that makes sense though, for the whole
okay,
context. If you want to start with the
then
first one.
then I can write the order because I remember. I also have my book right in front of me. Okay, this one. So I have round 2, round 4. Round 1 is okay, maybe this is not as organized as I thought.
It's okay. I'm adding them all to a collection, and then I can take us to a classroom a little
Okay.
easier.
You're carrying as usual the technology part. I'm sorry.
No, no, nothing to be sorry about. You're carrying the content and the chess.
I'm trying.
You're doing a great
I'm
job.
really oh thank you.
Oh, shout out to Max. What's up, dude? We got a
Wait,
huge
do you
raid.
want to do
Yeah, we should do a
do you want
shared
to do a
chat.
shared chat?
Shout
Okay,
out
awesome.
to Airplane Facts with Max. If you guys like airplanes and facts and Lord of the Rings and World of Warcraft, then you're about to have your
Like
mind blown
Zelda.
by this amazing. Also, if you just like good people that are also really handsome and really funny and just awesome, you should check out Max. And you should also check out Sabrina's Tea, who we're streaming with. I'll give a shout out to Sabrina.
Thanks.
All right, let me send you an invite to
Okay.
this stream together feature. All right,
Okay, got it.
did you accept it?
I did.
Mm, I don't see it.
Now it's gone.
Oh,
Here, hold on. I think I could do this.
yeah, Max. No, Max does Lord of the Rings reading sessions on stream.
That's cool. Wow, I didn't know people read on stream. That's really cute. It says we're streaming together. Okay, maybe not.
I tried sending it again. Oh,
Okay.
I'll
Now we're
accept it on
sending.
my end. All right, now we're there.
Perfect.
Now, all right, that should work. Is Joe a pilot? No. What's up, Joe? High speed chess. Okay, let me try to. Do I have all 6 games? Let me try to go to a classroom. Let me see. So Sabrina played in a tournament recently, a 6 round
Yeah.
tournament. How long ago was that?
This was last weekend. Also, it was 7 rounds. I took a bye the first round.
Okay, last weekend.
Yeah. Uh, sorry, not this past weekend. The one before.
So like 2 weekends ago.
Mhm.
All right, and your chess.com is the same. Sabrina's T.
Yes.
All right, I just sent you an invite to the classroom.
Okay, got it.
All right, and now we have all 6 of your games here, probably. Um,
Yes.
I don't know which game this is, but we could just start with this one, unless you want to go in order.
I don't really. Why? Can I ask why you think it's important to go in order?
Because I think it gives you context. Like, your chess kind of builds on your past experiences. So, like, if I'm playing in a tournament and I'm playing in game one, it's just kind of fresh. And, if I blunder or maybe have like a bad opening or something, I might make adjustment for game two, etc.
Yeah,
And it's
I hear
just
you.
kind of chronological order, I think makes sense. But
But this one, this one definitely wasn't the first one. The first one was a draw.
uh
The first one was a draw. I could find it right now. Will it show up for you? Let's see. Um,
hmm. Yeah, I don't know how many of them have.
wait, I can't hear you.
I was just kind of mumbling to myself which ones have like results or not. Um,
I didn't put results in all of them. Okay, now I can't select the game, so I suppose let's just do it randomly.
Here, I can maybe give you. Actually, I don't know if that would allow you to. It's okay. Let's see. All right. I'm assuming you. Okay, here you have black playing a
Mm-hmm.
French.
Yes,
Um,
I reviewed it more than I did the last tournament.
Advanced French,
Yeah. Okay,
C5.
here's where I don't like that I did that. Yeah.
You don't like this already?
Yeah, I already regretted it. Even when I was playing on the board, I know that it has to be a little bit more passive than this.
Okay, so why don't you like Bishop C5?
Because I think it's important to get. I don't know exactly what the right move was, but I feel like the other bishop is more important to get out first, to c7, because it's in front of your king, and then I feel like getting your knight on e7, the one that's on g8, is also more important. I just feel like it was the least important piece to move. That's all.
Well, if you play knight to e7, you'd be blocking this bishop if you don't bring the bishop out first, right?
Yeah, but I think the point is to play knight f5 after.
Okay. I feel like here what makes sense to me is something like knight c6 or maybe you don't capture right away and you just continue knight c6 and see if they take you.
Yeah.
Um
Well, here, like, the opening prep was to take.
okay.
That's why I did it.
Takes, and then here you weren't as sure. I think there's I mean, good reason to develop this. Like you're helping yourself get castled. I don't necessarily think bishop d7 is like that much better than bishop c5. I think to me the most natural is just bring the knight out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the computer gives us an accuracy. I personally don't immediately know what would be wrong with this. I do know that like g7 could be potentially weak. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, bishop out and now queen here. They play here. So this is maybe a little slow for them. But again, my initial instinct is just knight c6. And if they take, we're taking here for sure.
Right. Uh,
Um, but
how
yeah,
else do you protect the b pawn?
I feel like
Knight d2.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people just ignore it.
Okay.
Um, Hello, Smart Chess Club. Yeah, I don't know the French super well to be honest, because I don't play it, but I do play against it as white because I like to play e4 a lot.
Mm,
But normally I play this classic French, like just bring the knight out,
yeah.
defend the pawn. But yeah, here I feel like knight c6 kind of is interesting. Like maybe they have to push c3 now. And if they pin you, you just develop your bishop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they ever do knight takes, we're just taking here on e3. So this is kind of a strong pin here you have on their knight. So just bring your knight out, attacking a pin piece just feels very natural. You're also attacking this pawn as well, so you're really just trying to force the issue.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that becomes an issue for me later. The pawn on e5.
castles, knight here.
Uh
So
huh.
you're attacking this pawn.
I think I just didn't want the trade in the center. I don't know why, but I guess
Yeah,
I thought it would be messy, and also was trying to keep the position closed. And here, that was a big mistake.
yeah. So this knight move, what do you notice?
I mean, their knights are together, and also they can threaten the queen. They go on
Yeah,
a5.
it's more than the queen, it's a fork, right? They're
Yeah,
attacking
of course.
both of these pieces, and it's really dangerous if we have to recapture this bishop with the queen, because then what do you notice from there?
That there's a discovered attack if they move the knight on d4.
Yeah, exactly. Knight takes e6 is gonna hurt because it's a discovery on our queen, and it's also a fork, and it's attacking a rook, so it's also
Yeah.
just like grabbing a pawn in the center. So this is definitely not a free pawn here. This is like a big threat. So we have to be kind of on our toes about this move. Probably something like queen here, but maybe they have like a knight coming in here, so maybe that's also annoying. But luckily your bishop's defended by the knight too. So this is another downside of taking on e5 is that our bishop's now only defended by the queen. So
Mm,
here, yeah, and they just kind
yes.
of bully our I guess why not thinking yeah, we just blunder our bishop, right?
Yeah.
So did you consider queen c6 or you just missed it?
Here. Um, Queen c6. Why didn't I do this? Um,
It's okay if you missed it.
no, because I remember going through all the moves the queen could go to, and I don't remember why I didn't want to. If I go here, well, what does it do for me?
Oh, I guess it doesn't really even defend your piece because it's attacked twice
Yeah,
now.
it doesn't. That's probably why I stayed and made a different move instead, because it was pointless.
Yeah, so you went d8. and takes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, at least now you're protecting your knight. So here takes. Yeah, we're just down a piece, so um, it's just hard to come back from. I like your pawns here.
Yeah, they and then I started to blunder pawns. That pawn, I blundered the d pawn. But now watch, yeah, this is interesting.
Do you get back rank mated? No?
No.
Okay, so you get the bishop back.
Yes, but I took with my queen and I should have taken with the rook. I think that was important. Because the queen was the only thing defending the promotion idea with their pawn. And I forgot.
Okay, so now, yeah, now you're in trouble here again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, what would you play here? Because I liked my move.
Um,
You got Joe Bruin before GTA 6. Wow, they're flaming me saying you would never reach this position and you would resign.
I mean, I wouldn't resign this, but I'm like trying to figure out what you
How
could
to
have
save
played
this.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so like the problem is both of your rooks are hit, right? Your queen's only defending one, and if you go here, like they just take. My only trick up the sleeve would be like potentially some sort of back rank idea. But yeah,
Like
taking.
taking on D.
Um, I'm like trying to
This isn't
see
really.
if I can distract them at all.
Mm.
Like rook c1. If rook takes, queen takes, we have rook takes. And if queen takes, we just take here. But no, I think we're
Yeah.
just losing a rook.
Well, I
You
also. Yeah.
okay? So you brought this
I like
back.
this move.
The idea is that if they take, you take here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that what's played out? No, they took.
No.
Okay, so they should have done this though, because
Uh,
takes.
yeah, but right, exactly. And
They're
then
covering this. Or
this is
or
for
they could just ignore that and just start checking
and
you.
check.
But
Well, that's not what happened because
that's
I was
true. That's
playing.
true. You psyched them out. So,
Yeah,
okay, you found a defense. You
and they
trade.
checked.
Okay. Now you win the pawn. Oh, and they trade. Okay, this is a draw.
This was a draw.
Okay, was this your round one?
No, this was not my round one. This was my round one was much shorter. This is 43 moves. Let me just see. This
No.
is round four. No, sorry. One, two.
No, what a comeback though. That's awesome.
This
That
is
was-
round four.
that is a
Round
huge
four.
save.
The other round four that I played was wrong. This is round four.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, what a good save. I
Okay.
like this was a crazy
Yeah,
save.
no, I mean that's a great a gamble that paid off. So you could what's up, Gerber? Okay, I'm gonna look at this again, but with the engine, and we can really tear this apart if we want to. So, okay, here, um, taking is best. Knight takes, and now it likes knight e7. It also likes
And
knight
here
c6. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
97 horrible move, but like it's the French. You have to play horrible moves.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, here immediately queen g4. It likes just being really
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah.
Here queen out, and they should immediately go knight c3. and just ignore the pawn because the knight's going to be really annoying for you. And they're going to get a ton of activity. So they go here, which is a big question mark. And again, it likes knight e7 or knight c6. I think knight c6 is just a very solid, like thematic move, right? You're just piling up on the pin.
Yeah.
So, for example, knight c6, and they have to do something about this. They either play c3 or they play bishop to b5. I think if they play c3, that's kind of a win for us because their knight's not coming out there anymore. And if they play bishop to b5, then our answer is very obvious, bishop d7. And
Yeah.
again, we're threatening taking anything, which is really nice when we have the black pieces, but yet we are like dictating the pressure, the play. So a move like this is really nice when we have a pin and we just develop with a tempo and we're creating threats on them and they have to defend. So those are really nice tempo moves that we can just look for. Otherwise, it still likes bishop d7 or likes knight e7 still. These are just normal development moves. So castles, castles. Again, we should be trying to go for c6 here. Just really classic square for the knight. Just more forward thinking. I think knight to d7 is a little bit passive, actually, and I think you were just worried about this trade for whatever reason. I think now that you're castled, it makes a little bit more sense because after this take, we don't have this same capture idea to like ruin their pawn structure because they have knight takes with check intermezzo, right? But even here, we're very happy to take back with the knight because our e7 knight now gets upgraded, and yeah, we're controlling the center.
Yeah.
And this pawn is still very weak, so it's kind of annoying. Like, how do they defend this? Like, if they trade here, now it's really hard to defend. Like, we're just gonna
Yeah.
take this next. And our queen is stepping up. We're preventing them from playing out their knight. Our pieces are going forwards, right? And they're trading off their good pieces in the center. Now we have a much stronger control over the center, probably winning material with activity. So these trades are good for you if they take. And this knight here is really well placed too. We're creating a lot of problems, right? We're making them have to defend again. So like they're either playing c3 and just losing a pawn, or they're trading and we're looking at that line again. So like yeah, if they want to try to defend like this, we have something like bishop d4 is beautiful, right? So like that's why this pawn push also is really weak because normally you only see b3 when they can fianchetto, and here they've already brought their bishop out. So this is definitely, I know this is kind of a bad move in a lot of the lines, but yeah, we go here and then we just kind of go astray after knight c3, and now this is kind of a big threat. So we have to get out of this already. We need to find a queen move because otherwise we're not really, there's no other way to stop knight a4. So once we take this pawn, it's like we're losing.
Right, and what I don't like is that part of my thought process was like, okay, I see this knight can threaten my queen. I see the fork, but I didn't really care about it.
Mm-hmm.
I should have.
Yeah, I think the thing that we should care about most is lining up our queen opposite of their bishop, because they have the discovery is really dangerous. So that should be sending like kind of these warning signals. Should make your spidey senses tingle a little bit.
Right.
But
I did not calculate.
yeah, another thing, we just typically don't like giving up the bishop for the knight is another thing. So yeah, this knight move is really good. And something about this move, like when we go here, they don't have time to play knight c6 because, or sorry, knight c3, because we're just attacking this 3 times and it's defended twice. So that's one of the main reasons why the tempo is so good. Is because we're forcing our opponent to react, and that doesn't allow them time to create threats or to attack us. So when we do something a little bit more passive, yes, we're attacking a pawn, but a pawn is unfortunately the lowest priority um, of threat. So when they play knight to c3, this is not only just developing a piece into the center, but it's also creating a threat to win some serious material. Um, they're saying, hey, I'm not going to care about the pawn. You can go ahead and take it because it's actually going to be a blunder. But if we go here, they can't do the same idea because then we're just saying, all right, well, we're just going to win a free piece. So they don't have time to do what they want to do. They have to react to our threats. So this is like a big difference between just one little square for the knight. And yeah, obviously here it's just you're just losing now. So that's kind of like how serious some of these positions can be in classical, is like if we're not calculating these trades all the way through, we're going to be in some serious problems. So like in this situation, there's really nowhere you can go that's going to salvage the situation. So like yeah, like at a higher level, like,
Bishop d4 is crazy.
yeah, I want you to give up the queen for 2 minor pieces, basically. Which
I wouldn't do that.
I was watching the Collegiate Chess League over the weekend, and I think a grandmaster did that.
How did it go for them?
They still lost.
Did
but
they?
but it was like the similar situation where the computer was like, "Listen, it's your best bet." And he like realized it too. Um, but okay. Other than that, I think you did really well to come back. So, rook's in the center. You pushed here, which is really great. When you trade, you're allowing a queen trade, which you should avoid
Right.
at all costs at this point. But now this is a connected pass pawn. The computer gives us an inaccuracy, but when you're down, there's a couple of things you're doing, and you're doing this really well. First off, you're avoiding the trades, right? So that's good. That's really important. And then the second thing is you're complicating things. So if you're trying to come back into the game, you want more complications, because the more complicated it is, the more difficult it is for your opponent to calculate and try to simplify. So simplifying is good for whoever's ahead because there's less calculation to do. There's less chances that they'll make a mistake. Um, and it's easier to make moves the simpler the position is. So here now they have to worry about this pawn. So they go here, you avoid that trade again, which is really good, and you're clearing space for your other pawn to get into the equation. So this you're playing this really well. You're coming back, which is great. And now here again, like they're just simplifying, which is, what they should be doing, but they're helping you now control. Your queen steps up, and their bishop, this is like the perfect diagonal for the bishop, right? And they have the bishop pair, which the bishops together are really well coordinated. They control both color complexes on the board. So when they give up the bishop for the knight, now you're the one controlling e4, and now you can push. Even if they try to control the e file, you're the one controlling it because of that trade.
Right.
So this is another example of maybe a less than ideal trade. We don't necessarily want to give up a bishop for a knight, or at least if I'm your opponent. So this is really good compensation now, actually. The knight moves, hits the queen, queen steps back. Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe we could
I
have
moved
gone.
back so that I could protect the pawn on e4, and I think the reason I didn't like queen e6 was because I felt like the knight could get on a6 and then reroute somehow, but I guess it doesn't really make sense because I have rooks here. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I think it makes sense to stay on this long diagonal, kind of like a sniper bishop, to be honest. And like you said, you're kind of boxing this knight out in a way. Like we should never be worried though about knight a6. I think knight a6 is kind of a welcomed sight if we saw that happen. Like if we go here, for example, and they go here. I mean, the only thing I can think this does is open up the bishop, but there's nothing here. The bishop would probably be happier on this diagonal. But
Yeah.
like if we look at this knight, it's not going anywhere other than where it came from. So like if
Right.
anything, they could maybe argue they could push c5 now.
I think that was something I definitely considered, but it also isn't too worrisome.
Yeah,
Actually, no,
this
I think that was a big part of it because then the knight can get on the square and it's very active there on the c6 square.
I think just from this square it makes so much more sense that they're going to d5 because it's just one move and it's literally one of the four central squares. It's already protected by the pawn. It's blocking the rook's defense of the d pawn. It's blocking your queen's defense of the e pawn. Um, it's much simpler than comparing it to playing knight, pushing the pawn, hoping for a capture or something, getting the knight here. Knight here is not even like that great. It's tying the bishop down to its defense because it's already pressured by the rook. Um, I mean, maybe it's attacking this pawn, but I didn't mean to go here. I meant this. But yeah, queen back is fine. Here now this pawn is hanging, which is kind of a problem. Um, but not really clear if you can even save it. So I like this idea. You're just trying to undermine the defense of the knight. We lose a
Mm-hmm.
pawn, but we take. And now, interestingly, like maybe they could consider being a little bit more aggressive, but they take. Our knight comes in. We actually have some tricks with the knight.
Mm-hmm.
This pawn's also hanging, so this is kind of rough. When the knight lands here, it's doing so much for white. Like both of these pawns now, they're looking really strong together, but they're just completely disconnected now from the defense of the pieces.
Right.
So it's kind of unfortunate.
So you think knight trade was a bad idea there?
I
Or
think,
actually, I didn't have. I think I was really worried about the check with that
yeah,
knight,
yeah.
so I wanted to just be rid of it.
Yeah, and there's a tough balance like when we say, "Oh, you're ahead, you should trade," or "Oh, you're behind, you should decline trades." Well,
Right.
you also have to weigh in another factor, which is like the attack. So if
Right.
you're ahead in material, we say, oh, just simplify, go to an endgame. But if you're really into the attack, like you kind of want to keep some of the pieces on too, because then you could win even more material, which is even better. And if you're behind in material and you're trying to, trade as few pieces as possible to try to stay in the game, you also have to, defend yourself because if you keep declining all the trades, like maybe you're gonna get blown off the board. Like this fork, like you mentioned, right? This knight check is
Mm-hmm.
really powerful. So what's interesting actually, this knight move, I feel like we're just kind of over. So yeah, this knight is pinned. They could have gone for this check immediately, but of course, um,
Well, like, hold on, I'm trying to see something. They did do this.
no.
I just take. So what do you mean by? Oh, you saw that, right?
They didn't do that.
Yeah, I know, but you're saying they could have.
Um, yeah, you're saying you would have taken here.
Well, right, but I thought, never mind. I thought like a second ago you were saying that they could have done that
Yeah,
move
I
if.
I was seeing that it was with check and that it wasn't hanging the queen immediately, but queen takes e7 is
Tonight.
is a really nice response, so that would have been
Well,
cool.
actually, yeah, exactly, exactly. Sorry, I'm processing things a little slower, but yeah, I see.
No, you're good. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud too. So yeah, this would be a blunder for white. But at first
Yeah,
glance, like, yeah, I mean, I was thinking, oh, the knight's hanging, but no, you played this to attack the knight that's pinned, so that makes sense too. Um, but yeah, they just take here, and now your knight really is hanging, and their knight's no longer pinned, and they really are threatening this fork. So taking here makes sense. And now here, like, we'd love to take this pawn, but we're gonna get in trouble.
mm-hmm.
Like if we take with the rook, we're just getting back rank mated.
Mm-hmm.
And if we take with the queen, then we're trading queens, and that endgame is really bad for us. So
Yeah,
you just make some space, which is fine, and now you attack the bishop, which is really smart. They're defending the bishop and looking for a queen trade. You decline, and you're lining up this fork, which is really cool too. So you're doing really well of complicating things, creating tricks in the position. Uh,
yeah,
and here, you know, it works. You win a piece. Now, this pawn is really strong, of course.
mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, here, I mean, just rook e8 is really gonna be kind of a harsh reality, a hard pill to swallow. So you just do what you think is best. You get off the back rank, so it's not with check. And now here you find this really clever defense that worked. That you know you psyched them out. So
Yeah,
it was a bluff that worked out and it ended in a draw. So yeah, here they should not trade queens, but
yeah. I
it's
don't know why they did that.
it's because they're still up in material. They're thinking to themselves like, "Oh, I'm up. I should trade." Right? But then when the
That's one
dust
pawn.
clears, then they realize, "Oh, it's actually really difficult to promote the pawn now." So,
Mm-hmm.
um it's just a draw now. So yeah, they should have like done the same thing again. Just bring the rook to e8. Um, so yeah.
And then in terms of finishing this up, I feel like I played, the right moves.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy that they asked for a draw here because my endgame needs work, and
what would you
even
play
in a
here?
position like this, I would struggle. Out King
Yeah,
C6.
you just take the opposition. I think that's totally normal and fine. I think pawn in games, rook and pawn in games, like they're so tricky. I mean, even the top grandmasters are messing these things up, right? Like the eval will be like, "Oh, this player's winning if they do, you know, XYZ," and they just a lot of times it's the engine finds something that like a human wouldn't consider.
Right.
I mean, even there was like a game I think between Hikaru and Wei Yi in the candidates where Wei Yi just like gave up a pawn with check, and it was a 3 versus 2 um,
Mm-hmm.
pawn majority with rooks on the board, and the computer was like, "Oh, this is just crushing." But
Yeah.
Hikaru like messed it up, so it was a draw again. Um, so yeah, like these are good in-game surprises. This like you could look at it and just know, you know, 3 versus 3, 1 versus 1. And kings are completely opposite of each other. Like that should be a draw. Um,
Well, I've told you before I struggle a lot when in endgames because there's less pieces on the board. I just have a hard time seeing. So right now, the move for my opponent is what, King B4?
I mean, they could try going either way.
Or
I think you could mirror them. Like if yeah, if they go here, we could just go here. If they come back, we
So
come
the trick
back.
is just to keep mirroring them. Don't go anywhere
Well, you
with
don't
anything.
you don't necessarily want to let them in because if we do something like this now, King A5 is really annoying. See, the
Yeah,
evals are the same
right.
because now if I play something like this, they've created space for their king. Now
Mm-hmm.
they go here and they're boxing us out. And now also this pawn push is weakening because now our pawns over here can become a target.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah.
Maintain that opposition is definitely a technique. That's what bishops
Well,
do.
yeah, if they never are allowed in, how can they make progress?
Right. Yeah,
Um,
makes sense.
and yeah, pushing pawns is also like a potential weakness. So that's always like a pro and a con. So, you know, you can't win in games without pushing pawns. Um, but like in this situation, you shouldn't really be thinking like, oh, I'm gonna make a pass pawn or something. If it was like a 3-on-2, then definitely we gotta like change our thought process, right? So like I started this by saying, okay, it's three versus three and one versus one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the kings are like dead even. So in a
Yeah.
king and pawn endgame, you have to always consider like, okay, pawn majorities, right? That's going to be a major indicator of pass pawn potential, right? So if you have a majority, that means that you can, in theory, create a pass pawn. And if you can create a pass pawn, then you can make a queen, right? Like this is just kind of in theory. In this situation, you don't have any of that. So that's
Yep.
like one thing is pawn majority. Second thing, that's probably the most important, is the king positioning. If my king was all the way on h8, this is like a win for white now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if the pawns are dead equal or not, because the king in the endgame especially is an attacking piece.
Yeah.
So people weigh the
Interesting.
king heavily in the endgames. Um, so because your kings are equal, essentially that's another sign that it's equal. Another thing is you have like maybe there's already passed pawns or isolated pawns, right? The structure of the pawns is important. Um, and like if one of these sides is missing a pawn, then you know whoever's up a pawn is really good. Maybe not even just the pawn count, but also like the quality of the pawns, like how far the pawns are already pushed. Because you could have
Yeah.
3-on-3 be completely equal, but if one side is like here,
Yeah.
then they're winning because they're more advanced. Like if the kings are far away, there's a trick that you can create a pass pawn.
Yeah. To
So
distract and then kind
basically,
of.
you end up sacking a pawn, but one of your pawns
Yeah.
gets through. I think if we just like shuffle the kings around a little bit, if I do this and then white does this, and I play here, and I play here, and maybe I go backwards. Now it's saying it's
Mm-hmm.
black's winning if we play king c5 because they're
Yeah.
giving us space. But I'm trying to set up this.
If they attack.
I'm trying to set up this.
Oh, you want to just show me the sacking the pawn?
Yeah. So here there's only one move that works for white, and it's g3. Anything
Mm-hmm.
else loses. But if it's let me try to triangulate a little bit. So here there's two moves that win. But if I push this pawn and white goes here, now for us g3 is winning. There's only one move again. It's this g3 move. But here, this is again dead equal in pawns, pretty equal in king positioning. But the king needs to be closer to these pawns is the problem because our
Mm-hmm.
pawns are so well placed. Even though it's 3 versus 3, black is winning this because we can create a pass pawn. This is like a pretty old school trick that I think a lot of people should know. But g3, the idea is that we're threatening to take either pawn and promote on the next move, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
extremely forcing. They can't afford to just pass the pawn because if they pass, then I'm gonna take the other one, right? So they have to take, basically. And it doesn't matter which pawn they take with. Whatever they end up taking with, what we do is we push the
Yeah.
opposite side that they took with. And now this idea is that, again, they can't ignore this because we're taking or promoting. So they have to
Mm-hmm.
take, but now that was the last defender. Now this guy promotes. So we give up two of our pawns, actually, but this guy gets through. And it's important this king is outside the box of the pawn. That's another
I
trick.
just I discovered this tactic with the attacking two pawns at a chess club, but I was on the other side. I was the losing side.
Yeah. There's
But you know, you
another
never forget these things.
what?
You don't forget when someone uses something like that on you and then you lose.
Yeah, it's a
That's so
really
terrible.
classic king and pawn endgame thing. There's one other one, like if you still had bishops on the board, and basically there's like pawn structures that are pretty locked, like the pawns are just defending each other like this. Um, a lot of times people will have like a bishop and they'll just like sack it for a pawn, but the idea is that like after the pawn captures, like we make a pass pawn or something.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think like, oh, the pawn structure is completely locked up, like there's no way you can make a pass pawn, but then they forget like a bishop or whatever can just be sacrificed, right? Even like sacking a rook could be worth it if you know you're making a queen.
Mm-hmm.
um
Shout out Gotham.
yeah. So I would say like overall in this game, I wouldn't worry too much about like that specific end game. I would focus on the key takeaways would be um like this early
Pawn
on,
f1.
knight c6 at a lot of different moments is one thing, but the major thing was after here, this fork.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say like these sort of tactics are much more important to focus on than like, oh, I don't know my rook and pawn in games or whatever. Like, because those
Yeah.
that's gonna be a lifelong endeavor of like figuring that out. Because like I said, even the GMs are messing those up, right? But
Right.
like these positions, you're gonna get this sort of idea like all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're not like addressing this or learning from this, then that's gonna be a much more impactful like detriment to your overall chess journey.
And certainly, this game was probably. I'm glad you picked it by fate because it was definitely the one where I feel like, wow, this hurt. I can't believe I, let this attack happen, and I'll learn from it for sure.
That's great. Yeah, and like the pain in the moment is a good thing to help you learn from that and hope it doesn't happen again. So, okay. Shall we move on to the next one? Should I
Yeah.
pick at random? All right.
Uh,
Oh,
I mean, I don't have the names of them. Yeah, sure, pick at random. I wanted you to see the game that I won with the Vienna because I feel like last time we reviewed games over the board, we reviewed a Vienna, and I feel as though I really like played a really good Vienna game, and I wanted.
all right. I think this is
Uh,
a Vienna win here. So
yeah,
we've got
I don't want to brag.
the Vienna Gambit. So I already like, you got both knights in the center. Queen takes. It's kind of interesting.
This
Um,
is not the game I was talking about.
oh, it's a different one. Okay.
Hmm.
So queen comes back. Yeah, I guess here, I mean, I'm wondering if like bishop e2 is good or if this is
That's
theory.
definitely no. Bishop e2 would have been fine.
Here, bishop here. Um, so I guess if knight takes, you have your choice. Probably you're taking on d4, perhaps. I don't know. Certainly, obviously, they can't take with the pawn because they just dropped this. Uh,
That's why I wanted it there.
yeah. So here and castles. So,
Yeah. I didn't want I thought maybe like I thought cuz you see the fork on c2, I thought they would be able to distract my queen somehow, so I wanted to castle.
okay.
It's the only thing defending it right now.
I
That was
think
my
so bishop here is like a really subtle kind of attack. In my mind, I'm wondering if we can take this knight, but like bishop here is super annoying. So
yeah.
castling I think is actually pretty healthy. Like I really want to take on d4, but they just play here, and now I'm like,
Mhm.
shucks. That's one of the downsides of h3. That's why I was thinking about playing bishop e2 instead here, because whenever we push the f pawn, our king side just becomes a little weak, right?
Mhm.
So the dark squares are really tender.
Yeah.
When we play h3, it makes it even worse, actually. So takes, and yeah, the queen has to come back. Knight here, bishop out is aggressive. I like this, but yeah, bishop here is really subtle. I honestly missed this. The first idea I had was to
Yeah.
take, but I think castle makes sense. Probably they just play bishop to h4 anyways, right?
They did, and but I calculated like obviously saw the pin
Uh-huh.
the first, but I knew I could move my queen to d2, and I was chill making that move after, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like I thought ahead about it.
I'm thinking they'll go like here and then take the bishop or something, but that probably helps you though. So,
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about that
yeah,
move for
here
everything.
here and you decide not to take.
No, because they still have bishop g5 after.
That's true. So it takes and you're not taking that pawn back. So,
So what's the point of giving my bishop up?
yeah.
I was like trying to go for a fork, and I think it complicated things for them. Honestly,
So
they had to move the
here
bishop.
here
Bishop on g is like definitely better for them, but
takes.
when they played c5, I got really excited. I was like, I'm in. I'm gonna attack.
That's good. King over, queen out, rook pinning them, queen moves again. Um,
Because they have tunnel vision on this side of the board, and their king is open. So I got
now you
excited.
take. Okay. I feel like so when the queen moves here, I feel like this bishop is really short on squares.
Yeah.
Um, so when you
So you think I
take,
should have played rook 3?
yeah, I think rook f3 makes a lot of sense. Just putting pressure on stuff, and maybe you're getting ready to double your rooks. Um, yeah, I'm not a fan of taking the knight. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Takes.
actually, I thought, never mind.
Yeah, you're like trying to move the pawn and attack the queen.
After queen a5, because I would really like my queen to get in this space, I thought that's enough of a threatening move to eventually maybe play g3.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
No, I really like Queen A5 is really strong. You're right. The C5 pawn push was pretty bad by black. It's really weakening. Um, Here I think they should just castle. They play here, and now you're gonna check them. Now they can't castle, right? So yeah, gut instinct. They really need a castle here, because otherwise they're never gonna castle. So um, here is strong, right? You're looking at
Yep.
more checks. I guess they can defend it somehow, so the computer probably doesn't like it so much. But I really like this move. You're just activating your bishop because right now it's just staring at your pawns. So um, hmm, maybe the computer wants you to get in more
Yeah,
first
I
with the
get that.
queen. Yeah, here now the queen comes in, pawn push. So now you can check, which you
Which
do.
was a huge miss. Uh,
Well,
because like they can move out, and if I check again, I don't even remember exactly why, but when I looked up the engine, but I did like the check at the time at the board. I was sitting there like I'm chilling.
yeah,
So
I think this is really strong, and I think the follow-up here is probably G3, right?
yeah.
So I don't know why
Well, I
it's
didn't. Yeah. Well, when we look at the engine, I think maybe you'll understand better than I do about why I didn't like it. But
yeah,
yeah,
honestly, it's kind of annoying they're showing the move classification. I don't know if we can.
turn it off.
I
Oh,
feel
I
like,
mean, that doesn't really matter to me because I'm not a computer, and my
well,
opponent doesn't play like a computer either. So
it's funny. Um, no, but I just mean like if we turn the evaluation and the lines off, like I just kind of want to look at this on my own. So like when it's giving like, oh, inaccuracy miss, blunder, exclam, like it's just kind of
you can
telling
find it
us.
yourself. Well, you have the settings control.
I know, I
I
just
didn't.
there was no like easy way for me to to find it, so I just figured it's annoying that it's not so easy. No, it's fine. Okay. Anyways, um, thank you, Tristan, for appreciating Gerber. I agree. Okay. G3 should definitely be the move here, which you amazingly find. So this is just a fork. And the best part about it is that the bishop is pinned
Yep.
to f7, so they can't just take this pawn.
Yeah, but look closer because they have a move here. Actually, my opponent resigned and didn't see it, but I saw it and I was holding my breath. Yeah.
So Queenie said, yeah. So the reason why this works out for black is because sure their bishop's hanging, but so is yours, right?
Yep.
So so I'm curious maybe what the computer preferred here. But yeah, they resigned pretty early. That's pretty cool because as you've proven, being down a piece doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Um, all right, let's look at this with the computer. But hey, I mean, you won with the Vienna, and it sounds like you have an even
There
better
was a
win.
better Vienna. Yeah, there was.
That's exciting. Okay, here, yeah, bishop e2. It does also like h3. These are the top two moves. I just
Hmm.
think for me personally, if I can bring out a piece, like the
Yeah.
purpose of h3 and the purpose of bishop e2, they're both addressing this bishop pinning the knight, right? So
Hmm.
to me, in the opening, developing a piece is much more valuable. Like I might as well do two things at the same time. Like, yes, this addresses the bishop pin, but
Hmm.
so does this, right? And I'd rather get the piece out of the way, and now I'm already ready to castle. So this
Hmm.
just feels much more efficient with my time and my moves. Another
Yeah.
thing is this H pawn push. Because we've already pushed the F pawn, this is further weakening the dark squares. And as we saw, there's a ton of problems with the dark squares. So right now, computer doesn't hate it, but um, I think after bishop here, it's super annoying. In fact, there's only one good move at this point, and it's h4, which I mean, I wasn't really.
That's so cool. I didn't see that until just now.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't consider this either. But that just goes to show just how annoying the dark squares are, right? If they get the bishop in, the knight's here, they could really create some serious problems. So
Wait,
H,
um,
yeah.
but then what about C2? Knight C2 check, like after that trade over there. Because they
Oh,
can technically,
here
yeah,
takes, rook takes. You wanted them to do this.
yeah,
We could just move the king, and now they're. I mean, we
and
could
now,
take this.
yeah,
They're knight's trap. Yeah, the if we can ever get two minor pieces for a rook, like we're pretty happy about that in general. Um, and yeah, them giving up this piece and then getting their knight trapped, like yes, they want a rook for a bishop, but really it's a rook for two minor pieces.
yeah,
It's the bishop and now the knight because the knight's trapped. And the funny thing is we actually take this knight as well. So it's really kind of like three minor pieces.
yeah. I
Um,
see now why that's totally not a concern.
yeah. So, but I mean, in general, I'm not even thinking about h4. Like h4 is annoying to have to play because it's like I just pushed my h pawn, h3, h4, like and that's literally the only move that the computer likes for white. Anything else,
Like
and it's
I would
like
have been very proud of that if I found it.
it's a great move. I think in principle, I would much rather have moved the bishop out, right, and still have my h pawn on h2 and
Yes.
have g3 available if I wanted to. Um, if we look at like if we look at this, now this doesn't force them to take here or anything,
Mhm.
but I mean we could like
Well, it kind of does because isn't knight takes f or e5 a tactic if they don't?
oh knight takes here,
Yeah.
bishop
Oh, just
out.
kidding. It's not because they can take with their knight with their C knight.
Ooh, so okay, if we do like something random here and we do takes,
They can take with their knight. That's why it doesn't work.
I don't think taking with the knight is good though.
It's definitely not. I just
So we could just
look for
take.
that tactic there
No,
with
it's
the
yeah, it's
knight.
really good. I whenever I have this lined up with the bishop, it's typically whenever there's something on d4, I feel more safe about taking with d4 because you know that the knight can take back if they do this trade. And like you said, they don't have that same knight takes because the knight helps defend the bishop. But here, because our pawn's attacking this, I think that I think that they could just trade on e2. And okay, if we take here, takes.
Scratched in the record. That was not a good suggestion.
Wait, what?
I'm saying like that knight tactic is not valid at all. Like I don't even.
Well,
It's just not
so so this is definitely something good to keep an eye out, and a lot of times it does work actually, which is really good. But in this situation, it's like we're winning this pawn, but then we're losing this pawn at the end of the whole line. So it's kind
yeah.
of equal at the end of the day. Um, but maybe it's like not as good because maybe their bishop is really annoying and starts taking more stuff. But no, it's obviously a good tactic to keep an eye out for. Uh, but yeah, I think I'm just trying to point out like this difference in h3 and versus bishop e2.
Yeah.
Um,
And honestly, since I play Vienna online too, I've definitely been in this exact position before.
hmm
100%.
Yeah, I like that we're closer to castling, and I feel like the Vienna Gambit, it's pretty common to castle, right, with the rook on the f file. Or do you normally go queenside?
I would say usually it's queenside, but it depends on how messy your situation is.
Okay. Yeah, so here h4, castles and now bishop h4. So we have queen d2, and yeah, it does like taking on f4, which they do, and like you said, you shouldn't really just give up the bishop, um, but yeah, yeah. Basically, I think the problem for me is that if we're not finding h4 here, we're essentially just losing a pawn by force.
Right.
So the only other thing it likes is rook g1, because now here we can go here, but we kind of have to do this.
Then it will work again if they take.
Now it does like this knight c2 idea.
Yeah. That idea is just yeah.
Yeah, this is just kind of an annoying position, right? Because and to me the diagnosis is we're too weak on the dark squares. So the solution is to play h4, but like to me this move, like yes, it's good, but I don't want us to like have to find ourselves down a narrow path where at the end of it you have to find this one move h4 to like save the position.
Yeah.
I think that a much more feasible solution would be like at this point, don't play h3, just play bishop e2, and then
Yeah.
like our structure is not so dire.
Got it. I'll
So
never play H3 again, I promise.
that's not the takeaway.
It's
But
not?
no, the takeaway is that what I
When
want
you
to focus on, and
when you push F4, probably shouldn't weaken your dark squares further. I get that part.
it's also like if we're dealing with the pen, I'd rather develop a piece than push a pawn.
Yeah.
Um, because like the pawns are unique in that they're the only piece that don't go backwards. So every pawn push, it's conceding squares. So, you know, especially like around the king, like that's the thing with the f pawn push and then an h pawn push is,
Yeah.
yeah, the king doesn't really belong over here anymore. So that's I guess why you probably queenside castle so much. Um, but yeah, this is such a great move. Bishop e7's the top move. But it's like it's so innocent looking. It's just, oh, I'm developing a piece. I'm trying to get castle. Like, no, this is actually a very aggressive move, looking to win your
Extremely.
queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now here, bishop h4 now, and it's just winning a pawn. So here takes, we can't even take this because
There's
our
no
king and
queen.
queen are lined up. So that's another downside of queenside castling, is it's more aggressive, but it's also riskier. Your king is more centralized and is more vulnerable to tactics.
Yeah.
But okay. Um, yeah, we trade here, which is good. King b1 is good. Yeah, this c5 move, the computer says is the best move. That's
Computer
crazy.
likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was looking over that, I was like, that was my probably savior move because after King B1, I was finally like, okay, I can breathe now. I can actually make the plan instead of just defending. You know?
I think with all of this here, the move d4 makes a lot of sense.
After King B1 or before?
Well, if we just played a recapture, and now
Yeah.
like, if they castle or something, I feel like pushing makes sense, or king b1 or whatever. But this just prevents d4.
Um. Sorry, I'm distracted.
I'm trying to justify like why c5 makes sense. And in my mind, the only reason why is because it's preventing us from playing d4, which I think is like a reasonable plan for white.
Yeah, definitely.
So it feels odd to me. Um, but it's really clamping, I guess, on the center. So king b1, queen comes out, and the computer doesn't like this so much because we just pin their knight. And now they move the queen again, which obviously is, they're kind of wasting some tempo. And here it even still likes d4 actually, which is kind of crazy. Well, because we're opening up our bishop,
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So if c takes, yeah, we just have check. Or so it's saying we could take here. And if bishop takes, again, it likes to check. But it's even saying just queen d3, which still has the idea of check, but also queen d3 helps support, yeah, g3.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, that's cool.
saying, like, hey, let's just get rid of the pawn, but we're really creating space for our pieces, right? The d pawn was in the way of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they have some problems still. So yeah, interesting move here, d4. So even with c5, like d4 is still really strong idea for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you take, I think this is a little early for me, but they
The
take
only
back.
reason is so that I don't have to worry about my bishop
Yeah, you
first.
didn't want to defend the bishop. That makes sense. Yeah, then this is a terrible move. So yeah, here the only move is castling.
Yeah.
This is, like
Not
I said,
surprising, but
the last opportunity for them. So, all right, now you're actually winning. It likes g3 immediately. It likes queen c6.
hmm
You played here, and now they can sort of defend against your queen entrance, I guess.
yeah.
And now queen in. Here it wants the king to run immediately,
hmm
but yeah, they play here, which is a blunder. So now it really likes g3 here, and that's because they don't have this queen defense anymore.
hmm
So here is a miss. Not that it likes like this check better or whatever, it's because when the king moves, now the queen has additional space. So this is something that I kind of overlooked. Like after this, I definitely saw this move,
Yeah,
but
yeah, but before that, well, that's why that check wasn't good on b7.
yeah, I didn't see that before the check. So
It makes a
um,
lot of sense now, because if they already made the mistake of not castling, don't let their king go back, I guess, and make space for that for the queen.
um,
I couldn't find that g3 worked really well here on c5.
yeah, I think you saw like check and then go for this pen, which is really great, and I see it too. But I think we just both missed the queen can come back as a defense, and the king is on that square. So we want to keep the king here so that the queen is more limited in its responses. That's like a really concrete reason, but I think a good like helpful way to better find these sort of tactics is when you find this like 1-2 combo, it's queen check and then go after the pen piece, right? Looks really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Something that we can do, and you can implement this whenever you're just solving puzzles as well, but it's a move order thing, and that's what Dirty Flagger is saying in the chat. So if you find this like 1-2 combo,
yeah.
just if you have the time, you could be like, what if I switch the order, right? Um,
Sure.
so like here, it looks like it's a free pawn because the bishop's not pinned currently, but
Yeah,
you see that okay, check, and now it is pinned. It doesn't have to be pinned. Like we don't have to have that threat immediately. All we need is the bishop here to prevent the rook from coming in. So
right.
they're attacking our bishop, but we have this priority on the queen. We could say, all right, well, I'll start with g3. And if you take now, the check is just devastating
Right.
because they can't block anything and they're not saving the f pawn, which is amazing.
Yeah. I wish I had. That's good advice. If you have time, think about the moves in a different order.
Yeah, a lot of times if you like feel like there's a tactic and you're like looking at things and you're just not quite seeing it, you can try just switching the order of the moves, and that oftentimes will yield different paths and different ideas that you can work with.
hmm Cool. I like that
Um,
advice.
Wallens, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Okay, so yeah, they pretty much resigned right after this. So shame on them for not thinking about this move here.
I
Um,
think maybe what happens is like while they're thinking of what to do, like maybe the king f8 move, just like how when I was making the plan, they're like, oh, I see the attack now. I have nothing I can do. I resign. If that makes sense. Like they weren't
yeah,
looking at reassessing the board after they moved the king. You know.
yeah, I think that like it's really easy for someone to be like, "Oh, I'm losing now, so I'll just resign." But at the same time, I think that they're kind of doing themselves a disservice because they're really like training themselves to keep resigning when they can't find a solution.
Yeah.
Um, if you force yourself to play on when you don't see a solution, like first off, I think that's good resiliency, but also like your opponent can always make a mistake. And like we saw that in your other game where sure you played a losing move, but you're forcing your opponent to find a winning move and they didn't. So they're not really winning until they find the win. And you're
Yeah.
just putting the onus on them to find it, which I think is reasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like your opponent is leaving potential on the board by leaving early. So sure, they could have forced themselves to play a move and maybe lose, but maybe they stumble upon, the right defense, or maybe they force you to play on and you mess up.
On move 19, they asked for a draw
Oh, that's funny.
after they did the b6 move,
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
which is crazy.
Um, yeah. So you didn't stream this, did you?
No, I wasn't allowed.
You asked the organizer and they said no.
No, like I wasn't allowed to stream. They're very strict with like no technology or anything in the hall.
Is it like a local tournament?
It was an open.
Oh, that's kind of surprising, to be honest. Usually, I mean, even with the rules about like no phones or whatever, typically organizers will make exceptions for streamers.
Interesting. I didn't ask beforehand. I asked after, and the guy looked at me like I had three heads, but maybe he misunderstood me.
Well, I mean, if it was after, who did
Like
you,
I didn't like the organizer.
you asked them after the whole tournament?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on streaming this tournament for a couple different reasons, but actually somebody recognized me anyway at the end of the day,
Very cool.
which was cool, but also like they told everyone where it was. Whatever, regardless, like I asked them after, but I don't think he understood me.
Yeah, I guess I would maybe be
In the
confused.
future,
But
not
yeah, if you
not
meant like,
in
hey,
the
if I come
I
back
wasn't
next
asking.
year or something, yeah.
Well, that's what I said. I wasn't just like, oh, can you
Yeah.
stream this? I said like in the future, are we allowed? And he was like,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
maybe I didn't explain it well. I don't know.
some organizers maybe aren't as hip with the times.
I mean, they certainly weren't young. If you're
Yeah.
curious about that.
No, I mean that's common. But okay. Did you want to go through a third game?
um, I would if you're open to it.
Of course.
I want to find the one that I won.
Well, right now you're 1.5 out of 2, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I ended up with 3.5 out of 7.
This is maybe another one. This might be it.
See, yeah, this is it.
All right, and we're leaving ourselves with no Vienna Gambit wins to look forward to. And I'm just kidding. I don't
No,
know.
but this is the main line, and I prepped for it, so I was happy that I did it.
Takes,
Kind of.
takes, queen out.
Yeah. Mhm.
Takes,
Take
takes,
like
check, block, takes, queen takes, pawn push. 92. Castles, castles. So here your kingside castled.
yeah, like in this scenario,
Takes,
you could see
takes.
why it's better
Yeah,
because I took it on B3,
yeah.
C3.
So here they just give you the pawn.
Yeah.
So, but you know what's interesting? The best move is to just give you the pawn. But it wants bishop e7, which like you could look at this position and be like, okay, the pawn is hanging, right? I have to defend this pawn. Well, it's not really easy to do that. Something that comes to my mind is maybe playing f6. Um, that's technically still loses a pawn,
Anyway. Yeah.
but it complicates things.
Mhm.
But the computer is saying the best move is bishop e7, and this is like really principled, right?
Yeah.
Because you're developing a minor piece. And the crazy thing is, the best move in response is to not take the pawn, but it's to play bishop to a3, which again,
Oh, yeah. I found this idea later. I really loved this position. Like it was really fun to play. I did find bishop a3 at some, or I think I did at
yeah,
some point.
yeah, it's really cool to like understand what's going on and then to see like the computer sort of like reinforce the opening principles. It's like, okay, I understand that this pawn is hanging, but there's really no good way for black to defend it. So like, what is the best move? And it's just, develop a minor piece, connect the rooks. Like that just makes sense when you know the opening principles like that.
But when the computer says inaccuracy, I look the other way. But
Yeah,
when it says I'm right, I'm like,
heck yeah,
oh yeah.
of
But
course. Um,
you know what?
yeah, and at the end of the day, the computer is just a tool to help us. So we take from it what we want, um, but yeah, I mean, the computer is gonna find crazy things that we'll probably not be able to expect ourselves to find in a actual game or position. But yeah, they play rook here. Now we take the pawn.
Mhm.
Takes, rook left. We bring the rook back.
Okay. Yeah.
You had something to say here?
No. Sorry.
Okay.
Continue. I'm
Uh,
glad I didn't trade the is all I wanted to say, but I feel like you can understand why.
yeah, if you take their rook, they're gonna take with the bishop, right? And you're
Yeah,
helping
I'm
them
just glad
develop.
I didn't simplify it that way. Right, exactly.
Yeah, right now their bishop has no legal moves, so it's like why help them? So you come back, which is smart. Now they have to, spend some time and energy to just develop their piece. You find this attack on the rook. They come back. Now you trade. Takes. And here you double, which I like. They trade. You take. So now their rook is passive, right? And your rook is active.
Yep.
You could have considered taking first, rook takes, and then playing rook f1. But I like how you did it
To
better.
trade everything.
Yeah, I think
No, yeah, that's just scary to me because we have two knights. I have connected pawns, but like I said, I'm more uncomfortable with any game, so I didn't want to get more pieces off the board.
yeah, I think what you did here is totally solid. C3, now your knight's free to move. You actually have knight f4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just attacking both
Which
of
I
these.
did.
I guess the computer might be worried about b4. I don't know why it doesn't like knight f4 so much.
I don't know either, but it didn't really punish me, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's a totally fine move. Oh,
And they
97 saves everything. Forgot about
yeah,
that.
but I don't know. I still feel like their knight just or the
Yeah,
rook
knight.
just comes more passive that way.
I mean, this is such a fun end game to play. Um,
Yeah, I was having a great time with this game.
yeah. So here you give check, right? Or okay, maybe you take on d5. Hmm.
Check where? Oh, up there? No.
Thinking rook d7,
I think,
but yeah, they block with rook.
yeah. And I want these
Yeah.
pawns
Takes, takes, takes. Now, okay, takes with check. I was thinking you could just start with e6 immediately.
I don't want to worry about this pawn, but you're right. It's but definitely could have done that.
Well, another thing to think about is this, you take the pawn with check, but then the king can enter and get closer. Okay. Check, check, you save your pawn, now you push.
Oh yeah, and I'm really happy I found the I don't know what this technique is called, but I'm glad I figured it out.
I don't know if it has a name. You're just kind of walking the pawns up together.
Well, in my head I was like really happy that it worked.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really nice. Um, yeah, I would say like this opening was like textbook. It was just everything went really well. So it's like, castle, castle, they fix your pawn structure here. Now the F pawn is just falling. So you just win a pawn and then you win the game. But the
Yeah.
technique was really good. You didn't really give them many chances to come back. And
I
like
want to show you another. Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say, your connected pawn is now passed, right? And so now at this stage, just the name of the game is just simplifying and trading, and then you get this winning end game. And you executed it pretty much flawlessly.
So can I show you on move? So instead of bishop a3, I was also looking at bishop h6. Oh, sorry, not here. A different time. I don't remember when, but the computer was saying bishop h6 at some point too. Maybe if he moves before. No, that's not. I'm telling you, I saw it at some point. I'm not making this up. Or no, maybe it was bishop. Sorry, bishop g5 here. Yeah,
I was
maybe
gonna
that was
say
it.
maybe it was for their bishop.
Yes, yes. No, oh, maybe. I don't know. That wouldn't make sense because I would just take you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either.
Maybe I was looking at. I think what I was thinking was between a pin here on bishop a3 with the rook, or or putting it on g6. They would have to move the rook, but there wouldn't be like a trade situation. Here, you see what I see right now, right?
Yeah.
Or am I moving my piece? Okay, yeah. So maybe this would have been better for me.
Maybe. I mean, I liked what you did. I think the bishop a3 is better for trades. Bishop here is really strong too. Rook back, and now you can get into f6. They move
Yeah.
the rook, but there's still a bunch of material on the board.
Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah, I mean, yeah, like if they go here, we go here. At some point, we want to play c3 still, knight f4 still, and this d pawn's really weak, or we can get into e6. Like, life's great for you, right? You have all of the squares, you have all the play, and they just have to react to what you're doing, right? They don't really have an opportunity to make any counterplay, right? Like what you did, you're trading. You're trading here. They're just like grasping at straws, right? They have h5. They have b5, but like these moves don't really do anything, right? They're not creating problems for you. You're creating problems for them. You're attacking all their pawns, right? They have to go backwards. Now you're now invading, and now you bring the rook in, right? Like everything you have is just working together, and they're just
Mhm.
sitting around waiting for you to like finish the game, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like dealer's choice. You get to decide how you want to win. And
Hmm.
meanwhile, it's like they just have a million king shuffles,
Yeah.
and you just slowly but surely maneuver. You win a pawn. Sure, you might lose a pawn. This is like their only activity they're getting, but it's game over, right? Your rook and pawns are just gonna walk up the board, and they're just on the sideline just watching. So
Hmm.
yeah, this was a really, really solid game from start to finish.
Yep. Proud of this one.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess they played it out till mate. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of the kids want to not to resign.
I mean, that's what I've been preaching. So,
Yeah, there was one game I resigned before checkmate, but it was really like I had no pieces and they were about to promote, so I don't need my opponent to checkmate me with the queen. I feel like at 1400, that's not really gonna be a miss most of the time.
so I have, if I could give black some advice in this, if you're going to play it out, first thing I would do is I would not take the pawn until it actually queens. So don't take,
Yeah.
so they could play like rook here or something. So here they just kind of help you. That's one thing. Second thing is, I would move the king like this. Best piece of advice here, move the pawns. Like play h3 here, right? Try to get a trade or something. What you want to do, exhaust all your pawn moves first.
A stalemate?
Yeah, exactly. So if he's
Mhm.
running the king around, he's never going to get stalemate because he's got all these pawn moves. So what you should
Yeah.
do, if you have any free move, if you're not in check, just get rid of your pawns. Push your pawns as much as you can because it's going to be one move closer to stalemate, basically.
Yeah.
So like here, like two moves now, he's played the king. Also, if he plays pawn here, you're either distracting him, and that's another move that you're not queening or not checking him or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
and best case scenario, maybe you can even take and promote and do something with that. Like that's just general advice. I think it's especially helpful in like speed chess online when people are trying to like flag you or whatever. Like that's gonna really help your odds of complicating things, stalemating, come back, like stuff like that. So I mean, I've played so many speed chess games where
Hmm.
I just like don't grab my opponent's last pawn. They end up promoting it when I have like a ton of pieces on the board.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, obviously this is classical. It's a lot different. Blenderman, thank you for the raid. Shout out to the Blenderman. I think he's on day 105 of not cutting his hair.
Oh, is
Um,
that a thing?
yeah, he's trying to get 2,000 blitz, I want to say, and he got up to like
Mhm.
1,900 something. So he's working
Cool.
his way up. He's getting close. He'll get
I
there.
like that. Fun.
Yeah, definitely go check him out. He's got a pet bearded dragon named Chester.
Like Jesse.
Exactly. They're very similar in that regard. Yo, hit 1944. Super close. It's only a matter of time. Um, that's
Let
sweet.
me ask, did you get a haircut right before you started this journey, or it was like
Yeah,
changed?
I think he shaved his head before.
Oh, okay.
So you guys can go check out his hair progress.
Wow, it's
Um,
so artistic. It's very like cool to see how much hair it took you to get to 2000. Oh yeah, he did shave his head.
so we're looking at Sabrina's over the board games. I think if Sabrina hits 2,000, she'll shave her head as well. No, I'm just kidding.
Um, how about that? Actually, I you couldn't pay me enough to shave my head unless like it was for different reasons. I don't know. I don't tell Sabrina to hit 2000, crush it over the board.
That's the goal. She's on
I
her
would have to
way.
think of something else. Maybe like eyebrows, never my hair.
That's crazy.
Oh, another raid.
Hey, Shavita, thank you so much. Welcome in. We're doing a game review with Sabrina's T from her recent over the board tournament. And we've looked at 3 games now. She's got 2 wins with the Vienna Gambit and 1 draw from behind as well. So 2.5 out of 3 is pretty good. I don't know if you wanted to go over more games, but sounds like we've saved some of the losses for later.
We definitely have. I'm trying to think if the rest are losses. We went through 3 games. Two.
Yeah, you said you went 3.5, so there's still one more win out there
There's
somewhere.
there's one more win that I cannot remember, or maybe there's 2 draws. No, there isn't. Wow, this was 2 weeks ago, Joe. I don't remember.
It's been a while. I mean, I
There's a
mean,
game that is 62 moves long.
shall we look at it?
We don't have to do that one today.
Okay.
Uh, but like if you're down, we could do another one because I think most of the other ones are short. Or we can put a pin in it and do these later, whatever you want.
I mean, I'm here, so
Okay, let's do it.
let's okay, I pulled up this other one here. Okay, so this is different than the Vienna Gambit. Are you playing with the black pieces?
I'm playing with let me I think this is game 1. Let's see.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar, song and dance. Like, I'll play a game and then I won't even remember like how it went immediately afterwards. So,
It's not the first game. This is not this one. Which game this is?
I don't think it matters necessarily. It's just
I'm
what color you have.
Oh, I found it. Okay, yeah, this is my game, and I won't tell you the outcome, I guess, but this is that's fine, Vienna, because if they play Bishop C5 instead of this knight, then you're winning. So you're supposed to play Bishop out.
Oh, you
Here.
so you did this because you're hoping for bishop c5 and you're gonna play queen here or something?
Yeah, but it's not just to like make an attack, it's also just a fine developing move.
Yeah, no, this is how I would play it personally.
Yeah.
Because I mean I like to play the Italians, so the bishop's always going to c4 for me. But okay, so this is you with white. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're switching it up a little bit here.
You're not supposed to play f4 because there's no knight there to
Oh, so it's when the knight comes here you play f4. Got it. Yeah. I feel like you've told me that before.
all good.
Okay. So here, this is an interesting spot here. So I see this position all the time because now this is just a Joko piano, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So we've opened up for our bishop. Here, you're bringing the knight out. Um, sounds like you have something to say.
No.
No,
Yeah.
okay. I
I
heard a deep breath.
You said bringing the knight out like it was not good.
I'm saying I'm presenting it as if you have an option here.
I do. I have an option to pin the knight
Exactly.
or
Yeah, you could do that. I think that
if I
there's
if I won the game, I would have been like, "Oh yeah, knight F or whatever I played was the right move, but knight f3. That's not what happened.
Well, so you did play knight f3, and win or loss, like
It's a fine move. Yeah.
no, I think this is probably the best. So you're getting ready to castle, right? So
Mhm.
I think also like it's kind of curious here, d3 versus knight f3. I think a lot of people will maybe frown upon knight f3 immediately because there's knight takes e4 there, right?
Yep.
So now if you take, you're getting forked here. Whereas if you play
Falling for
d3,
that on my
there's there's no longer knight takes because you have pawn takes.
Yep.
So yeah, here now there's all these options that are possible. Computers even saying h3 and a3. Like there's reason to play a3 because you don't want your bishop to get trapped on c4.
Mhm.
I honestly couldn't tell you actually the reason behind h3 at all because usually h3 is a move I play only after the d pawn moves and the bishop can come here.
They want h3 so that they don't have the attack on f2.
Well, if you
Bishop
if
should
you
be.
bring the knight here or the bishop here, they still wouldn't have knight g4. I mean, knight f3, if they play knight g4, we just castle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
anyways,
I
there's a
mean, wait. So knight f3 wasn't one of the top moves.
no, it's the top move for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
number.
Gotcha.
We should look over
Right.
this without the computer, but yeah.
Computer access revoked. Okay.
Well, I like to go through the game first without it
Yeah, I agree. I like that
and
too.
then look at it with it after to see what we missed. But okay, now here this is where I really think you can have a debate. Um, I think probably if I were to play like a classical game, I would play h3 here.
What bishop sack is Gerber baby talking about?
He's talking about on f2 or f7 something. The idea of what h3.
I guess so. F2 sack.
Well, you can see what. Oh, f2
Yeah, they're
f2.
talking about f2.
Uh, but no, we're not worried about that. If we play bishop here, there's no sack on f2 yet. Takes, king takes. There's no knight takes because knight takes defends the bishop. And there's no knight to g4 check. Even though the bishop's hanging.
Queen takes.
Yeah, we have queen take. Oh, also, yeah, the d pawn hasn't moved yet. So hold on. Maybe, yeah, it's still, there are obviously lines where the sacrifice works. Like if I wanted to really point something out, I can show you. This happens a lot to me in the Caro-Kann. I'll play a fantasy line. Here usually there's a pawn d4 too, right? After this we just play here. What did I do? What the heck did I do? I played f3 immediately. That's so funny. Okay, d4, d5. This is the Caro-Kann, right? And now f3.
Yeah.
This is the fantasy. Now,
That's
if
the name of the variation or the
yeah, this is the
exercise?
fantasy line.
Okay.
Um,
Never heard of it.
yeah, it's really cool. I actually saw this first from Danya, in one of
Oh.
his streams. So after takes, there's this move e5. And if
Yeah.
we take, our pawns are doubled, isolated, they take, we can't castle,
Mhm.
so we don't take. Instead, we play knight f3, just defending our pawn.
Mhm.
Now
Yep.
they can pin our knight,
Yeah.
which is annoying, right? But we don't worry about that. We just play bishop to c4. And this is very common with, the Italian, right? Now, if
Yeah.
they just like take this pawn, for example, now we can sack because now we have the knight check and it's a fork and it's also a
Mhm.
discovery. So yeah, we're losing our bishop, but we get the bishop back. So we're actually winning material. We're winning that pawn, and they can't castle, and life is going to be great for us.
Wow, I really like this line. I'm gonna write that down against the Caroton because I struggle against it.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what my friend plays.
there's a lot of potential like downsides, of course, whenever you have to play f3. Um, and I say have to play f3. You don't have to play f3, obviously. This is a choice. But if you play the Vienna Gambit and you're used to pushing the f pawn, then
Then
maybe
maybe I'll be more comfortable.
this is something worth looking into. I like to play this. This has been a lot of fun for me. I think if Black knows what they're doing, they can get a decent position. But um, I think at low levels, you'll see probably this mistake a lot where people just blunder this bishop. Even like knight here doesn't work. Knight takes because again the knight is forking and the queen's
Hmm.
discovering. So even though the knight defends it, it's not enough. Um, and there's this tricky line where they'll play something like knight here, and if we do takes, king takes. Now knight takes doesn't work because they have knight takes and that defends the bishop.
Hmm. Right.
And this knight check also doesn't work because, as you pointed out, there's queen takes, which,
Well,
yeah, it hangs.
but then my queen is also dead.
Yeah, but my point is that if we take here, then they take here,
Hmm.
and
And I
black
get
is
your
up.
point. We're just worse.
Yeah,
100%.
that's why the sacrifice doesn't work on f7 is because they have this really important counter queen sacrifice, basically.
So
Because like
knight d7's the only move that protects it
knight
in
d7,
this.
I can turn on the engine. Knight d7 is
Sorry,
the best move. No, you're good.
the dreaded computer.
No, this is why I was pointing this out. The sacrifice is nullified if you play knight d7. It doesn't work anymore. So knight d7 is a really good move. But the line doesn't end there. If they play knight d7, which is the top move, we can castle, and now our rook lines up, and now the sacrifice works again. So if they do something stupid, now we sacrifice, king takes,
Yeah.
and when we do knight takes on e5, they no longer have knight takes back because it's now
Yeah.
a discovered double check. So they have to move the king, and now we can take the bishop again with either the knight or the queen.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's fun. But the best move now, they can play knight here. And now
Hmm.
the rook is blocked by the knight, so we don't have a double check anymore. And here they're just attacking this pawn and they're developing a piece. They're trying to get castled. But like I think it's really fun. We already have a lot of pieces in the attack. Like we're already castled.
Yeah.
Um,
This is not bad at all. You could play knight c3.
yeah, just bringing the knight out is common. I think also even c3 is a really common move. Um, there's some lines where I've blundered my queen or the bishop pins me here.
Mm.
So yeah, like black has some decent chances still. Um, but there's a lot of tricks that white can play for, and that's what makes it really fun, I think, in some speed chess lines. But I think the first time I played a fantasy over the board, my opponent did not take, and I think that's a good line for black is to not take because when the pawn's on f3, it's awkward for us. I really like it when they take because now I just have this pawn duo and the knight can come
Yeah.
here, right? And we've opened up the f file for our rook. But if they don't take, instead, there's this line they could just play e6. And in my head, I was like, oh, e6 is kind of like a French. And back in the day, what I used to do against the French is I would play the exchange and people would make fun of me. And then I would play c4. And
Because the exchange is like the worst one. I can't even blame people for making fun of you.
so I'm not here to say what's the worst or the best or whatever, but people say that black instantly equalizes, and that's not good if you're playing white, right? So what's interesting, I saw like a grandmaster play the Exchange French, and I was like, oh wow, I guess good players
Yeah.
can still play it, and not worried about getting bullied, maybe, or maybe they have thicker
If you're
skin
a
than I do.
GM, then who's gonna bully you? The
Other GMs.
0.1% of people that are GMs.
Well,
you know.
anyways, I remembered I used to do this because I don't know, I just did that online. So, anyways,
Yeah.
the one time I played the fantasy over the board, the first time I played the fantasy, I played f3 here, and now they played e6. And in my head, I was like, oh, now it's kind of like a French because they played e6. So I just played c4.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Now, this is a bad move because black just takes here. And now, as I reached to take back, I realized, oh shoot, if I touch this pawn, I'm just instantly losing because I pushed my f pawn. So takes, queen check, and worst case, I'm losing a rook. So I can't even stop this. I'd have to move the king somewhere. And
Which
that's
also is
gross.
the end of the pod, considering there's only a queen out. It is gross, but like, yeah, it's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
gonna
definitely,
try to justify this at all. So I
yeah.
played this like a gambit. I played knight here. Or
I like
maybe
that.
I brought the bishop out or something. I just didn't take back. And so now I'm down a pawn, but it's still a game. And my opponent never took because he didn't want to help me develop my knight. And eventually I was able to win the pawn back and I won the game, luckily. But I just think it's funny because it was my first time ever playing it over the board. And in real time, I was like figuring out, oh, I should do this instead of that. Like next time, like I know now that if they ever play e6, the threat is to take and check. So now what I do is I just defend this pawn again. Knight
Hmm.
c3 or bishop to d3. It gets complicated for sure because if I play bishop here, now my d pawn's not defended. So if takes
Hmm.
takes, there's this line that they take here. So typically what I'll do, knight here first. They could try to pin me. And now here, I could still do this, and they can still do this, and they can take here. But this isn't
Yeah.
necessarily that good, because look at me. I'm all,
Yeah.
and like, okay, takes, bishop here. I'm down two pawns, but I have
Hmm.
three pieces out.
Yeah.
They just have their queen, which is hit. Um, I don't want to necessarily like justify this position either, but I think
Your
that
king is kind of open and stuff.
yeah, a lot of lines there's like bishop here, breaking the pen. They could take and take, and this is kind of awkward as well, right? Because they still have this check. So honestly,
I would definitely fall for the check, honestly,
I
in
would
a
just
speed
I
game.
would just bring the bishop out, and if they go ahead and take that pawn, I'm just gonna be like, like when they take and I take, I think it's still I'm happy because I can bring the knight to f3, and even with a tempo, if they take that pawn, and there's a lot of compensation for the pawn in that opening. But this has been a huge side tangent about the fantasy, just because
No,
Gerber mentioned
I
sacrificing.
like it. I'm glad I'm gonna play it now. Sorry to the Caro-Kann players that don't like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, I've been an advocate of the fantasy since I found it. Um, but yeah, and that's like so I'm a big proponent of just learning and going off of like the opening principles and the basics and not actually like memorizing a lot of lines, but I'm also a fan of like, taking these opening ideas from certain sidelines and variations and like it becomes applicable to a ton of other openings that maybe are more relevant to you. So, if we look back at the actual game played to bring it all together, already with the bishops out, like we're looking at sacrifices on f2 or f7, and all of this we were talking about, this knight check doesn't work because we have this queen takes idea. It's like even if the knight's defended, if we're pinning their knight and they give us a check with their knight, we can just take because the queen also like defends our bishop. So
Right.
that's a good idea. You seem to be very familiar with it, but maybe some people in the chat haven't seen it before. But it's a really good trick. Like a lot of people will go for that, and if they don't know it, then they're just gonna be like down. But if they do know
Mhm.
it, that's a quick way to just win a piece, which is really nice. So it's important to know all of the defensive resources available to you if you're gonna like play these sort of tricky openings that maybe there's Greek gifts or whatever's going on. So yeah, here
Yeah.
back to this position. I was mentioning in a classical game, I'm playing h3.
Yeah.
The problem with pinning their knight is that they can just pin our knight. And if they go like knight here attacking their piece, they can play knight here attacking our piece. So it's like very symmetrical. Neither side I don't think is getting a huge advantage necessarily. So I just like to play h3 and I just avoid that altogether. I really don't like dealing with this pen. Um, but I also really like getting this pen and playing knight here. But I just know that
Yeah.
it's maybe not so good if they can do that to us. Another thing is like I'm not sweating if I can't pin their knight because I also really like bringing the bishop to e3, just attacking their bishop. And I really like when they take, I take, and I can castle and the rook's opened
I like
already.
that too.
So castles is like you're doing none of the above, but it's obviously like one of the most fundamental development moves. So very solid. I
Yeah.
I think after castles and they play bishop here, for example, um, I'm actually curious what you would do here.
This is like I learned chess with the Italian, and it's just annoying when they can put their knight on d4. So I it's really annoying to play against this. I probably went h3. I don't remember what I did.
H3
Um
and they'll go here.
yeah, and then from there, I don't know. Like
So
maybe I pin the knight. Like I don't I guess
if you do
I don't
this, then
really
they
know
go
how to
here.
stop. Yeah, I don't really know how to stop because that's the downside of playing um, D D3 because then your bishop can't come back.
Yeah. So here I would choose black in this position because black hasn't
Sure.
castled yet, and this pen is not nearly as annoying as this pen, right? So I think castling is like maybe a touch early because after this pen, it seems like you're already kind of uncomfortable. I will say that after the pen, if we do this and they go back, there is a good move here for us. It's bishop
Is it knight
e3.
bishop
What
e3?
were you gonna
Okay.
say? Knight,
Well,
knight here?
no. Bishop e3 I've played in this position before, not over the board.
Let me
Because
just
when
double
you don't
check
know what to
this.
do, you kind of just offer that trade or, protect the square one more time.
It is
Try.
saying knight d5, but I'm curious what it wants after this. Oh, it's saying g4. But yeah, g4,
I don't get why.
a little awkward, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's always these computer lines when it's like a human doesn't want to push g4 in front of their king, but the
Yeah.
computer's like, oh, it's the best move. And the reason why we like hate having to do this is because, black hasn't castled yet. They can really easily like try to break this structure down. I think this is really high risk, like low reward
Absolutely.
situation. But if a computer is perfect, they could take this and run with it. But it's just really difficult for a human to defend because black is gonna have a really easy time just attacking us. So um, that's the whole point of bishop e3, by the way, is we're just controlling d4 now, right? Because the knight's pinned, so the knight can't really stop anything from going to d4. And that's the whole point
Yeah.
of this pin, is to just play knight d4 and just attack the piece twice.
Mhm.
Um, so all this to say, that's why I'm an advocate to play h3 before I castle. Anytime this d pawn pushes and this bishop can come pin me, I'm
Mhm.
I'm advocating for h3 because it's gonna save us a lot of pain. Here's another funny thing: after castles and bishop pins us, the top move that we're considering is h3, right?
Mhm.
So it's like
Why?
we're playing, well, I mean, we're kind of hoping that they take, right?
Yeah, but
But
uh, are we considering it so that they move back and we play G4?
well, it's this is an additional resource available to us. Like we were looking at this computer line where it's saying G4 is the best move, but that's only because we've already played H3. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if we just immediately go for like this here, now we play H3, well, that's useless. It's actually just
Yeah.
terrible because we give them
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my point in showing that H3 is typically our main response to this pen is that if we're going to play H3 anyways, why not play it when it actually does something before
Yeah.
they pin us? We're preventing their pen.
Move
Uh,
order.
that's why I like to play H3 here. Computer will tell you, you could play knight A4, hunt down this bishop.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you play H3 now, like maybe they can hunt down our bishop. So yeah, like if you watch the top level players play the Italian, there's a lot of these nuances that like that's why some side they'll like push the a pawn, which like to me is like, oh my god, that's like so on the complete opposite side of the board. I think it's
Yeah.
because this combination here of knights and bishops is like they really care about these knight to the edge moves and these bishops being able to
Yeah.
be preserved or whatever, but yeah, I mean, for me, I think H3 is just totally fine because I know that if I'm castling or if I'm pinning, then they're gonna pin me basically. And then if you like run into someone that like does, these like bishop hunting moves, then that's like a different level. I feel like they're pretty good. I feel like they know kind of a lot of the theory, or they just kind of know what's up. Like these are the best pieces in the position because these are the
Yeah.
pieces that are pointing at the king.
Right.
Give the fried liver noob. That's a whole different lesson. But it does come out of this same opening,
Yeah.
but not out of a Vienna is the difference. You need it to be more of an Italian. This is a transposition into
Yeah.
an Italian, right? But
That's my least favorite transposition of the Vienna,
it's,
and that's probably why I played it so poorly because I don't really play against it very much. Not when people say the Vienna, they don't play this principled of a response.
oh, so when your opponent plays knight here,
When my opponent plays knight there and I play bishop c4, even if they like if I see them go knight f6 after, I know that I am not going to be as good because I know that knight d4 is coming and I just don't know how to handle the position very well.
oh, you're worried about knight d4.
But I just know that when it transposes into an Italian, I'm not very good at it because you kind of run out of moves. You have to play
No,
in
I'm
my
gonna.
head.
Okay.
In my head, yeah, just cuz like I don't know. I personally am just not very good at playing this position. It's ironic because I kind of learned playing the Italian, but it was so long ago I don't remember.
I think the main thing I'm gonna agree with you here is that it is in your head. I think that if you believe that you can play well against this position, then I think you can. I think that if you let it get in your head, then you are going to play worse because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
I think
Cab.
something that's going to help you a lot is having a positive mindset of like I'll tell you
Right.
right now, this position is my favorite position for both black and white. This is my bread and butter. This is like if I could start every game from here, I would. I play the Italian and I play the Joko piano. And like basically what I don't want is to and like nobody wants this. Nobody wants to play an opening that they've never seen before and then they're like instantly losing, right? Like, oh shoot, I'm losing a piece, I'm losing a pawn or whatever. Like, oh, I can't castle now. Like nobody wants that because what you really want to do is get out of the opening unscathed and just get to a middle game and just start playing chess, right? That's why like Bobby Fischer hated that everyone just had 20 plus moves of theory memorized. That's how 960 came about. He literally made Fischer random chess just to avoid the openings. So for me, I'm like, okay, people are gonna say like the Italian's boring or whatever. That's great because now after this, after both sides castle or whatever, it's like now we can just play chess. We can just play the middle game, and really test each other out there, right? So, the opening was even, right? Both sides just getting the pieces out and castled, right? No complaints
Mhm.
there. Now we can just play the game of chess. Um, so like from if you're in your head saying like, "Oh, this is not good for me." Like that's not true objectively. Like this is pretty even, if not like slight edge for white, right? Because white has the move. So, um I think if
I think
you're
once I play it more, look over this. Not even necessarily the theory, but like we're looking at a set of maybe three moves that are good here. You said hunting the bishop or h3. Like if I knew those principled moves, I'd feel a lot better about it, I think.
well, even castling is fine. You castled, and then they didn't even go for the pin. They were worried about the pin themselves. And now this is another opportunity. You could play h3, or you can go like I was showing you. This bishop e3 move is really common. That's what I would do here. After they play h6, I know that I'm not pinning them, but I also know that I want my bishop involved. You played bishop d2, and this is something that I would fight against you on, is that it's kind of like in that first game we looked at where you brought the knight, um, instead of going to like what was it, c6, you went to d7 or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
This to me is a very like knight d7 kind of move. This is really passive. Like
Yeah.
in this situation, the bishop should be considering just these two squares. The pin I think is most fun and most annoying to your opponent. But if you can't pin, then we want to go to e3 because like if we count the number of squares this bishop can go to, it's these five, right? Now
Yeah.
obviously like these two are bad, but we're just counting the number of squares he can go to. So
Yeah.
after the bishop goes here, if we count, it's literally the same number, right? The bishop hasn't improved actually, really.
Hmm.
Um, like yes, you're on a different diagonal, and yes, your rook has opened up a little bit more, but the point is that we want to just optimize the activity and the options for our pieces. Like we really liked that this pin is annoying, so okay, they don't allow that. Let's take the next best thing. We want to contest their pieces. So like when you put the bishop on d2, I can say with confidence that this bishop is better than our bishop, right? And these are the two counterparts. These are both the dark square bishops. So, and I earlier even I said these are the best pieces on the board, right?
Yeah.
Because they're so well placed. We would love to trade. Like you agreed, I think that, you know, This
Mhm.
is nice. So when you put a bishop on d2, this is really passive because you're not optimizing your bishop. You're not putting it on the best available square. And in fact, you're not really helping it all that much, to be honest. Um,
No, I'm not. To be honest, Joe, this is very clearly, I know myself, this was a panic move, which is, I know it shouldn't be because it's the Italian, it's not complicated at all, but I, this is probably the most passive, like, move I could have made, and it's because I had no idea what else to do,
no, you could have made
like I
worse
said.
moves for sure. But
Okay, yeah, like that's not a blunder or something.
yeah, no, I mean, it's not your best move. It's not optimal, but hopefully you're not panicking at this point because this is a very decent, very solid. Honestly, every move you played so far is pretty optimal. I would say like you've done nothing that I can seriously criticize as far as like opening principles go. Like every move you've made is very according to the opening principles. This is the first move where you could have done something better.
Yeah, I'll learn
So
from it.
yeah, and this is also like a really minor mistake. Um, this is not game changing. This is not gonna cost you. It's just like if we know something that we could improve on, that's gonna help us in the long run. And these moves compound. Like a lot of this stuff adds up over time too. So that's why we want to try to improve them when we can. But yeah, here now they pin you. H3 is a move. Here we take their bishop, they take, and now, okay, now we have this tactic actually. That would have been really nice.
Wait, oh man, you're right.
Well, yeah, here they need to take on f3 first, I think. Well, d takes. This is crazy. The computer just walks into this. Um, but yeah, this is like obviously not ideal for us, right?
That's why I was kind of laughing to myself when you were first showing me that I ended up in that exact position where the bishop's on h3, my rook is attacked. It's just a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that would have made it worse is if you played h3 now.
Yeah, no, that would that.
Yeah, that's what we really. Um,
But can you show me the sacrifice?
yeah, the point is this pawn is really important. Like when this knight moves, it's not defending the e pawn anymore, and when this pawn moves, the e pawn's completely hanging too. So now, bishop takes. If they take, now this is really good for us because we get another pawn, and that's a fork and a discovery. So king
Wow,
has to
love
move
to see that.
anywhere. Now we just take here. Now they can get this pawn, maybe, but takes, takes, takes. We just move this rook, like
Doesn't
whatever.
matter. You could do bishop c3
Maybe they
too.
take here, but
Yeah.
now, I mean, there's...
You could do bishop c3 before you move your rook.
It's saying you could just take this, which is kind of ridiculous. There's only one good move, bishop c3. Wow.
Yeah, but can you do bishop c3 before the rook?
Wait, so
Like
here,
this?
bishop c3, it's saying there's knight d4.
Ah, okay, that makes. I guess that makes sense.
So if here, here, and queen takes, now here there's this knight d4 move still. So that's why I want to sack
So
the
you sack the
exchange.
rook.
Now we go
Cool.
here, rook here,
That's pretty neat.
check, king h8. I don't even know what the moves are now, dude. Oh, like
I'd
this,
probably
attacking the
attack.
queen.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the queen's trapped. That's sick. That's
Yeah.
sick. The best move is to give
Really
up the
cool.
queen. Because the king
Yeah.
also has no moves. They can't get out of this bishop check.
Yeah.
That's
Really
wild.
cool.
This is not anything I would ever memorize.
Memorize? I mean, you probably would see it though.
I
believe
would
you
never
see it.
see this. Oh,
After the
because
sack, I think you would see bishop c3, maybe the rook sack.
I think you're putting me on a pedestal, but The reason why I would never see this is because I would never let this pin. I would never have the
Bro,
bishop on d2. I would have played h3 like 2 moves ago. I would have had the bishop on e3. Um,
wasn't it a few games ago where you were like, "Don't play H3"?
Probably,
Yes, it was. I know,
you know.
obviously that this is different. It's a joke, but it's
Oh
just
yeah,
funny.
that was the Vienna Gambit game
I
where they
know.
played the bishop on they pinned you and you still had your bishop on the back rank. I was
Mhm.
like, you should develop and break the pen. That was before you even castled.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow,
thanks.
that's really cool. That
That
sacrifice.
line is ridiculous. But yeah, no, I mean,
That's an Instagram reel line.
okay. Um, so yeah, this is a really cool opportunity that we could have had, perhaps. But yeah, here, if you're not finding that, it's saying you should just prepare with King H1 already, which is a little sad. Um, but okay. Here, um, it likes F4. I think
I
that's
think I was looking at that. Maybe I played it. I don't know. Yeah, I did. I like
F4.
that.
Yeah, F4 is a discovery on the knight. So if they take with the knight, then we can just take. Um, Pawn takes, and then I think we have queen to
Mhm.
F3, and we're forking the
Yeah.
queen and the pawn, or the bishop and the pawn.
Yeah.
So you did this, which is good. Takes, takes, takes. Now you sacked. Oh yeah, and you have this fork, actually. I was
Yeah.
thinking at this, which is not nearly as good.
That would have been. I think that honestly, Queen F3 was probably better.
No, because they have this check, and then king here,
Oh
and then
yes,
they go
that's why I did
here.
this. Okay, then I did think about it.
Oh my.
Okay,
No,
I did.
the sack is best, and you find this. Oh, so okay, they didn't take, and
Mm-mm.
this is really
Weirded me
tricky.
out.
This
Yeah,
is
because what the heck do you do here?
this is really tough. The only move is king h1,
Mm-hmm.
because the whole thing you have to worry about is this queen
Okay,
g5, right?
excuse me. I remember this game now. This was like the most heartbreaking one. Now I remember exactly what happened.
Well, so you bring the queen out, which is the second best move, but now they probably do the same. Yeah, check, take. Now your bishop's hanging, and
And I'm horrible with the pawns and the bishop and the rook. By
here.
the way, my opponent destroyed the section. Um,
Oh,
like this was an earlier game, and my opponent here did really very well. So they were probably underrated. They were like 1400, but
yeah. I mean, you're just kind of cooked here,
I am so cooked, and
because
it's
they're just
crazy
gonna play
because
here.
I thought I was fine.
No,
I didn't even see Bishop G2, honestly,
I
and I'll
mean,
never forget that.
well, because I mean, your king just has no moves, and
Yeah.
and they have the H file. So yeah, I think you didn't realize how dire this was. But essentially, like the bishop here even is getting a question mark, and it's because you're allowing the rook to lift with the tempo, I think is the problem. E5 I like it because you're creating space for your pieces. Um, but here it likes d4, likes bishop e4. Oh yeah, bishop e4
I
makes
think
a
it
lot of
wants me to
sense
trade.
too.
Yeah, but also like if Bishop B4 here, what do I do when they push?
Um, then
Do you sacrifice? Probably.
no, not yet. If here and here, then yeah, I'm wondering if we go like rook lifts or okay, it still likes d4 for whatever. I mean, I guess you're trying to get the pawns in the
Maybe
center, but
D4 so that I can get my bishop on the D and then go back to the F here to trade.
Oh, yeah, that's also a good point. It's really trying to flush the bishop out. So, yeah, this problem is all because of two reasons. The main one is we allowed this pin. We could have played h3 earlier. But the second one is that we allowed the knight to d4. We could have put the bishop on e3 is I think the biggest change. Um, and then yeah, the finding the sacrifice would have been nice. But after this, it's really a downhill battle. So
If I found that sacrifice, I would have sent this game to you right after the match.
you found this, right? This is really good, but they were really smart not to take. And
Mm-hmm.
after this is really just tough to play. So here you need to
I was
find
protecting against the check, but I didn't know like H1
it's the
makes so
only
much more
yeah,
sense to me now, but
it's the only move that prevents from the check, but you found this is still the next best thing. You're still defending this check, but the problem is they get this tempo on the bishop and they also open the H file and that's the winning combo for them. So um the sooner they go for this, just the stronger it's gonna be. So they kind of dilly-dallied a little bit. This maybe gave you some
they did,
chance. Like, yeah, it really likes d4 to bring the bishop back. Um, that's probably why it hates this move so much, is because you're
yeah,
restricting
you're
your
blocking
bishop.
it.
So,
Honestly,
yeah,
yeah, because they did rook H6 over already over there,
here it's
like right
saying,
here.
yeah. Right here, the best move is rook h6 by a lot.
Yeah. Mhm.
But let's look at, I want to look at this line. It's saying there's a chance here, apparently. So if they go like,
I did see this. I thought about it.
oh, we have check, king here, takes. Now if they go here, it's saying rook e1
Um,
is playable. Here, rook
why?
e4 is
What?
playable. Takes.
And then what?
Oh,
Oh,
you have a
bishop?
perpetual. You have a perpetual.
Wow,
So if
that's
here
awesome.
you come back, here you're winning now with bishop e8 or bishop to h5. Bishop h5 makes sense to me because you can take this rook, I guess.
What if
Bishop
they just take the
e8,
rook?
king. The problem is if you go here, this is mate. That's why that works.
Oh,
So the king is
wow.
forced to cut
That's
off his own rook.
that's
We
neat.
insert rook g6 check first,
Hmm.
and
Wow. Cool.
now we take. And if takes, well, we take here, and life is good. Or maybe
Yeah,
even take
life
this
is
way.
great.
No, but that's a miracle long shot there. But yeah, we go here, and now yeah, this is the last opportunity, I guess, for rook f4 to find this sort of idea. Or here, even saying actually rook a4. I don't understand this one either. So if here, bishop e4, if they double, we just take on a7 somehow.
Oh, for a check.
And if they go
So when they
here,
go, hmm,
there's
that
only
makes
one
sense.
move, bishop f5. And yeah, this is setting up a perpetual threat.
Uh-huh.
So that's another defensive resource here. So the pawn and the
That's so
bishop
cool.
do a really good job of
Yeah.
boxing the king out from the 6th rank, and then the bishop also protects the rook. So if they try to attack the rook, we have this check, and we'll always be safe to go to c7 check as well because the bishop covers. So no matter where they go, we just perpetual them till the end of time.
This is a really, really good lesson
The
for
bishop
me to
covers.
understand that. No, I think just in general, the perpetual checks, like, to recognize them. The
Um,
pawn and the bishop right next to each other were so strong.
yeah, no, it's a pretty cool perpetual idea, but it's one of these like Hail Mary defensive resources that the computer has. So it likes that the rook can get active here on the A file, but the other idea was rook to the F file, and we had those really crazy um, resources there. Like the other rook also had to come in and
Yeah,
contribute there. But this I'm like I don't ever want to rely on something like this. I would rather address the issues earlier, right? It's this bishop and the knight to d4 was the problem.
I didn't see that threat at all. So yeah, agreed. I gotta recognize that threat way earlier.
The pen and knight
No,
d4.
no, not just the pin. I'm saying later on. I need to understand that I could get mated when they go
Oh,
bishop g2. I didn't see that.
yeah, I mean we you would never want a bishop on h3 or g like if that was like bug house too, that's like instant mate basically. That's a really common idea. I don't know if you have you played bug
I
house
love
before?
it.
Okay.
Yes, I've taught my whole family because
Oh,
I played Bughouse at the chess club back in college, and then I brought it home, and now my family plays it. It's really fun.
that's awesome. Love that. Um, okay. Well, I think that's I don't know. Did
That's
we
all
see
maybe
the
for
end of
this
this
game.
game? Trade.
I think we did.
What ended up happening?
They mated me.
There's that rook
Oh yeah,
lift.
you didn't see what I tried to do. Okay. Yeah, I
E,
just,
so takes,
you know,
takes, takes,
nothing you could do here.
and
Hmm.
um. So yeah, at this point, it's forced mate in 12.
Hmm.
Interestingly, it's wait now it's not saying it anymore. It's saying
It
b5.
was this
No,
move
now it's
right here where I realized I was getting mated right
here's
here.
the force mate. No, this is yeah. Now
Yeah.
it's saying main 10. Yeah, here mate in 11. I mean, it's like even if it's not saying mate, it's -6. Like there's not much you can do at this point.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is a really deadly. I mean, like you just see that okay, your king has no moves besides going to the H file, which I don't think you really want to go there. So
Mm-mm.
also,
H
it's
file would
like
have
they
been made quicker. Mate in three, right?
this game was practically over as soon as they
Yeah.
played F3. Like even
Yeah.
though this isn't like the best move, the computer says, you have rook F4 now. It's like no one's finding this.
Just because of the draws. Just because of the two draws.
Yeah, so here I would say at this stage your only hope is to get this bishop back and playing d4 and getting the bishop to f1. And that's a really common idea. Like if ever your g pawn or your b pawn is moved, then just know that if your opponent has that color complex bishop and you have your color complex bishop,
Yeah.
uh, this is kind of where your bishop belongs, right? And it's just to prevent
Hmm.
a piece like this from being there. So if your king is stuck by this bishop, it's like that's like a death trap.
Yeah.
So your bishop's the only piece that can get this like I mean, at least in this position, you have two rooks and you have a bishop, right? And your rook's not getting here anytime soon. So, um,
What about F3 or something here after they move their king?
yeah, F3 is definitely a move as well to consider because that's at least giving your king a move, right? And it's stopping them from playing F3. But I
Hmm.
think that we would much rather if we can bring our bishop back, which we can. So I think um just being more aware of this sort of death trap and just addressing it as quickly as possible, playing d4 and bringing the bishop back. I think this is very findable. Like even bishop
Yeah.
e4 and then they push, then we go for d4 and come back. Like that's
Mhm.
also more reasonable. It's still not good for us, but it's at least something that we can reasonably expect to help our defense. Um, but anyways, yeah.
I feel like, especially the ones we looked over here, uh, I don't know if you remember any of the games we looked over from the previous. I don't expect you to at all, but I feel like I'm playing like a little bit better, but also I think I need to really learn what positions I could save as a draw. Even though you're kind of anti-draw, I think like it's important to see where your opponent gives up their winning advantage. Would you agree?
Um,
And over the board.
I think that it's obviously very good to understand your like drawing chances, your drawing resources, especially like I mean, if I'm like losing in a game, like I'm thinking about drawing. Like I'm just thinking about defending and
Yeah.
trying to get back, right? Like I'm not anti-draw in that regard. I may be anti-draw as in like, hey, let's offer him a draw and like move 12 or whatever. Like sure, I'm against that, but that's not necessarily. I think there's some very reasonable draw. I mean, I draw all the time, but yes, it's very good to understand and recognize like perpetuals, right? Or like perpetual
Mhm.
patterns or ways to get draws, right? Like that is just inherently a part of defending in chess, right? So,
This
um,
game and then another one that we didn't look at were two where I could have absolutely drawn and didn't because I didn't see it. So I think I'm gonna do better with
I don't
doing that.
want you to take that away from this game. That like, oh, I could have drawn this, whatever. Like, I think that's
Yeah, you're
really
right. The most
difficult to.
important is the two huge mistakes I made before that were, of course, in the opening H3, but also just not seeing the attack here with the bishop. So you're right.
Yeah, I think being able to bring this bishop back, I think is a good resource that we should remind ourselves like if this bishop's ever here. But I think the bigger problem is like allowing this to happen in the first place when we could have put the bishop on e3 or we could have played like h3 earlier. So I like to look at games and just try to like find some key takeaways and just really focus on that because otherwise like there's so much that you could take away from one game. Like in this game, sure we could focus on, the perpetual pattern, but I'm like that's not going to help you the most in the long run, right? Like that's such a niche example of like one particular moment where okay, maybe you could have found that, but it's like the bigger issue, it's these little details like putting the bishop on d2 versus e3, right? That's the difference between having this knight mess up your entire king side and letting this bishop in. Like I think that's gonna better suit you in the long run for sure.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
that's not to say like, hey, we shouldn't focus on other areas that we can improve on. I just think like overall, when you're doing game review for multiple games, maybe throughout like a whole tournament or whatever, just picking up these little moments here and there is just much more realistic to expect from yourself. Because
Mhm.
it's they say like Rome wasn't built in a day. Like you can't become a grandmaster in one day. Like you're not gonna learn from every single mistake you ever make, even in just
Mhm.
one game, right? But over time, if you just focus on some of these little details that can help you out a lot, then eventually it's going to become more secondhand nature. Like you're not going to have to think about it so consciously anymore. And then you can get on to these more complicated sort of positions and ideas of like perpetuals or these rook and pawn end games, right? It's like that stuff will come with time a lot easier.
Yeah.
So we're just taking one step at a time.
Mhm. Yep. You're right. How do you stream a game over the board without like a board that
Without a
shows
DGT,
rotation? Yeah.
you just have a
The
commentator.
camera?
Yeah, the camera on the board, and someone will see the position and they'll just make the moves for you, basically, if you don't have the fancy board.
I don't have the money for that. Absolutely not. One day,
Well,
that would be cool.
the best case scenario is that they have those boards provided, but
What do you mean?
obviously,
Some people do that?
like, yeah,
Or
depending on the tournament, they'll have DGT boards already specifically
wow, that's really
for
cool.
the top players or for the streamers.
I didn't know that. What are these tournaments you're talking about? I haven't seen any of these.
Like the National Open, they had it in, like, there was the Granky. Like, I mean, they're bigger tournaments for sure. It's not like some small local tournament. Like, I mean, some local organizers will have, like a DGT board that they could offer, or sometimes they can, like, lend boards out to you if you ask nicely, or maybe you could find some friends. Like, I'm sure there's some streamers that have them. Like, yeah, you say you don't have the money to buy one, and like most streamers don't have their own DGT board. But there are some people that are like willing to lend them out, or they're like some cool organizers that are happy to help with that sort of thing, or they just
Yeah.
have them for their events. I mean, there's a lot of tournaments that they have the DGT boards because they want to broadcast it like on an events page on chess.com, but they don't have streamers that are actively streaming the match. They just have the boards
Yeah.
up with no commentators.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you do go to one of these events and you're like, "Hey, I'm a streamer. I'm interested in streaming it." A lot of times these organizers would be happy to put you on a DGT board because they were planning on using it anyways without the streamer. They were just gonna have the games up on chess.com somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just depends on the event. It depends how big the event is, who's organizing it. Um, there
Someone said I'm trying to, and it's where my director will look me up.
that might hurt you. Um, but yeah, there are some bad organizers too that they don't care, or they'll say no actively, or they'll just like make it difficult on you, or
Mm.
maybe they're not familiar with it, or even some of them are like worried about fair play issues, which I think is common.
Valid, but
Yeah.
like easily avoidable.
Well, yeah, I think for the most part, um, a lot of the big events with a lot of streamers, those organizers have been more comfortable. And I think they,
Yeah.
they see the benefit of having all the extra exposure, to, like, basically help advertise their event.
Mm.
So yeah, I would say if anyone is seriously having issues with like an organizer, I'm happy to help advocate for whoever's streaming, because I think streaming is a really important way to help grow the game of
Yeah.
chess, which is
My my goal is definitely to stream an over the board game this year. And it's beginning of the year, so I have a lot of time, but like I really am like warming up to over the board chess. I want to do that.
yeah, I'm planning on, I mean, I haven't even streamed any of my over the board games, so I'm planning on going to the National Open in Vegas in June. So that very well could be my first time. So that'd be fun.
I've thought about going to that. It's a whole ordeal, but um I have a different tournament I could go to in June, so I'm kind of picking between those two right now.
If you go to Vegas, let me know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will. Have you been to the National Open before?
Yeah, many times.
Oh, I think we've talked about this actually. You like it a lot, right?
I like playing in Vegas. I mean, I used to live in California, so it was a lot closer for me. But Vegas has just always been a fun place to be, and those tournaments are always really fun because I have a lot of friends that end up going, and a lot of other streamers as well.
So who's gonna commentate my games if we're all playing?
There's a lot of streamers that I'm sure that would be happy.
Yeah.
There's probably some. I mean, maybe you have Joe.
I feel like if I
If you go,
bite
you
the
go.
bullet and go, he's gonna go.
That'd be he could
Yeah.
still commentate your games. You
Yeah.
heard Vegas is dead.
Well,
Yeah, it's possible.
Vegas is that a joke or what? I don't understand.
No, there's a lot of people that don't like. I think it's the CCA tournaments. I think the ones in June,
I just looked outside. I think it's still alive.
or maybe it's December. I think it's there's two tournaments there that happen every year. It's the North American Open and the National Open. The National Open is June, the North American Open is December. There's
Hmm.
one tournament where the organizers don't provide boards and people are upset at that, I think. And then there's another tournament that does provide boards and people like those organizers better. Um,
Do you know which one was which or no?
no, it matters so little to me. I don't even care. I could look it
Okay.
up because the fun thing about the tournament that provides the boards is that at the very last round, if you win your game, you get to keep the board. So I've kept a
Ooh,
couple of those boards. Okay, Poker
wow.
Vein says
That's
the
really
the North American Open does not provide the board, so that's the December one. But the
but
weather's
the
better
weather
in
is better.
December. Yeah. So people like the June one better, I guess, because they like those organizers better with the boards. And that makes sense. Like I know the organizer for that.
Oh, and it doesn't conflict with World Series of Poker. Hmm.
Well, yeah, I've never played in that, but I do like
No.
poker. I know Sabrina likes
Yeah.
poker.
Yes, I actually played last weekend at a friend's party and I miss it a lot. I used to play more
Nice.
online. Have you been playing lately?
I played the other night, maybe like a week or so ago, online, and I went in person to a casino, maybe like a month or so ago, and I played. That was
How was
fun.
that?
It was good. Yeah, it was
I'm
just
scared to
a.
play in a casino. I'm
You're
not that
scared
good.
to what?
I'm scared to play poker in a casino. I'm
Oh,
not good with the sharks yet.
no, I mean, most of the people there aren't sharks either. Like, a lot of the people there are just playing for fun, which is good. Um, Obviously depends like where you are.
Sounds like I'm talking to a shark,
Well,
because that's what they would say.
I mean, I'm not trying to like profit money off of you. I don't think.
No, I'm joking. I'm so
Yeah,
I am that was a joke. I know
yeah,
you're
I
not.
just from my own personal experience, like I've both been the fish and I've seen the fish. So
Yeah.
sometimes it could be, like that there are definitely sharks. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like I've been very lucky with like the tables I've been at, I think. But I've also like have gone and lost all my money. So and
Yeah.
sometimes it's like that's not because there's a shark and I'm a fish. It's like sometimes it's just the cards play out like that.
Yeah.
Um, but
That makes
uh,
sense.
but yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to play in a casino. I think that like if you have the money and you want to go play, like I mean, I feel like you seem to know what you're doing with poker, so I wouldn't be scared. Like I think once you do it your first time, it's like really easy to be super nervous, but then um you get more used to it over time. Like it's people that like play chess online entirely, they also get nervous playing chess over the board, right? But you just kind of have to go do it and you get
You
used to it.
definitely just have to go get used to it. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, it's similar with poker. The thing that makes poker so much higher stakes, I think personally for me, is you're playing with real money, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's the funny thing about chess is that people will pay a couple $100 to like register for a tournament.
Mhm.
Um, and like they have zero expectations of winning anything, right? They just want to go play chess. But then, you pay like the same amount to go play poker, and then it's a much bigger deal. And I know it's not a direct one-to-one comparison because like a poker tournament could last, you could bust out in like one hand, whereas a chess tournament,
Yeah.
you're guaranteed a certain number of games that'll last a certain number of days.
Right.
But there's a ton of parallels and I think good comparisons you could draw.
Yeah. And also, when you enter a chess tournament, inadvertently you're signing up to maybe eventually get a bigger return if you're gaining rating. I mean, that's a stretch, but if you play and play, and you get up to the higher sections and you eventually win one of them, you can maybe make your money back
If
if you're
anyone
winning a big prize
here
pool.
is a shark, it's Gerber. He's saying that he has no chance to win in chess, but it's actually like the least true. Gerber has the most chance of winning at chess because he's super underrated. I think he could win any section they allow him to play in. Basically.
Wow. I'm
Um, no, Gerber's like what 1100 USCF, but he's like 2000 online.
See, yeah, that's like the type of opponent that I'm afraid to sit against in my section because
Yeah, but
they still exist. They do.
yeah, you could point at Gerber and say he exists, but the problem with people like Gerber is they don't actually ever go and play.
Mm,
So it's like when they do
ouch.
go, it's really rare. Like
Yeah.
I'm actively encouraging him to go play, and he's still like, no, no.
I mean, I think it's a big ego thing if like nothing about Gerber, but if your gap online is so much higher, the pressure is on you to win, over the board.
I think Gerber probably doesn't have a chance to win an under 2300, but I think Gerber has a great chance to win anything
Maybe
less than
1,000.
like 1800.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I gotta get going, but thank you so much for looking over the games with me.
Yeah, thank you for
This was so
inviting
fun.
me and sharing your games with us.
I'd love to look at the other ones another time. There's two
Of
more,
course.
or two.
Yeah, just let me know when.
All right, sounds good.
Are you also ending or can I raid you?
Yeah, I'm ending. I'm going to my little sister's play,
Oh, very
so I
cute.
actually have to run. Yeah, so can rate somebody else.
All right.
Is Jesse on?
I don't think so. But I'm gonna raid Matt Henningsen. Oh, you could raid Joe.
Oh yeah. I'll rate Joe for sure. I didn't realize this. Okay.
All right. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. When's the next stream? That's a great question. That's funny because physics is in the other. We still have our shared chat going. Um, but yeah, shout out to Noob and Gerbs. Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. And we're gonna raid our good friend Matt Henningsen. He's been raiding us, so we gotta share the love. And also, I just want to support him. John T says, "Can we play?" Sorry, I'm not playing viewers right now. Um, just giving the lesson to Sabrina for a little bit, just looking over her games, and yeah, I'll stream. Who knows? Another day, another time. Maybe even later today. Probably not, but who knows? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Give Matt a good time, and I'll see you over there. Take care. Bye.